Africa, say hello. Say salam alaikum, salam alaikum, salam alaikum, salam alaikum, salam alaikum, salam alaikum, salam alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. We stand, we bend, we fall. All we need is freedom. All we need is freedom. Free from slavery, free from slavery, free as a man to slavery, free as a man to slavery, free as a man to slavery, free from slavery, free from slavery. Yeah. We're here to speak the word. We're here to stop the war. We're here to speak the word. We're here to stop the war. We're here to speak the word. We're here to stop the war. Salam alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Salam alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Salam alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Salam alaikum. Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum, African one.
Dear viewers of concerned citizen of South Sudan, greeting and salutation to you all. I would like to thank all of you always for tuning in to follow us as we discuss national issues and prospect for political change in our country. As you have all followed, member of Gen Council of Elders recently broke silence on what they have called their long silence by issuing press release on Tuesday, January 22nd, 26, 2021, to speak out on the state of affairs in the country. In their statement, they express concerns about implementation of Revitalized agreement on conflict resolution in the Republic of South Sudan, RSS, and call on the President of the Republic and the first Vice President to listen to voices of people of South Sudan in light of what they cite in the resolutions of the national dialogue. That came out from grassroots consultation across the country and the regional conferences that were held in Equatoria, Upper Nile, and Bahr el-Ghazal regions. Same were followed by the National Dialogue Conference that was held in Juba in period from 3rd to 17 November 2020. In our episode tonight, we are going to host Dr. Aldo Ajodenga Quay, who is a member of Lower House of National Legislature that's called the Council of State, and also a member of National Dialogue Steering Committee and member of Gen Council of Elders, to discuss with him two issues: their support of Revitalized agreement on the resolution of the conflict in the Republic of South Sudan, and resolution of the national dialogue. So, and I have to apologize in advance because we're supposed to bring our guest tonight on the live video as we do always. but for some technical issues, we are unable to put him on the live screen. What we can do, we would be able to continue with our interview through telephone line, which is okay. So one more time, I welcome all of you, the viewers of Concerned Citizen of South Sudan, wherever you are, for tuning in always and being part of Concerned Citizen of South Sudan with the issues that are so important to all of us as the daughters and citizens and sons of the Republic of South Sudan. So I will go ahead and call my guest on the phone, and then we will bring him here, and so we can continue with our discussion tonight. So thank you so much. Being patient and being part of this, as always. So let me go ahead and call Dr. Aldo Ajudeng Akwe, and then we will continue. And I want to remind you, the viewers of Concerned Citizens of South Sudan, as always, we agree to disagree. We will not tolerate any insult whatsoever. We may differ in our opinion, and that's okay. But the notion that you can write derogatory comments are not acceptable. So any insults, uncivilized comment would be removed, or you will face delete also on our forum, because here, as I said, we agree to disagree. So let me go ahead, and call my guest, and then we continue. Dr. Aldo Ajudeng, are you there with us? Okay, let me go ahead here and connect with the better, so the viewers can hear you as we continue with this very important discussion tonight. So let me see here. I don't know why I'm not hearing it. Okay, here we go. Bear with me, dear brothers and sisters. We will do this momentarily. Here we are. Yes. Dr. Ajudeng, welcome to Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. We were hoping to see you live in our studio tonight, but I apologize to our viewers in advance for the technical issue that you are unable to be on the screen. But anyhow, it's still going to be the same, because what important is a message, the message to the people of South Sudan that we are here tonight. So I welcome you to this very humble forum, Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. And before we proceed with our talk discussion tonight, as we made it clear here on the beginning of our talk show, that today we are discussing the Revitalized Agreement, the National Dialogue resolutions, and the prospect for political change in South Sudan. I want to give you a few minutes to go ahead and greet our audience before we proceed here with our discussion tonight. Please, the podium is yours.
Thank you for having me with you. I agree that this is very important at this stage. Before I go into into agreement, I would like to say the following. But we should not actually be taken as people who have destroyed the South. We never had guns, but we have brains. And our support.
Dr. Aldo Joe, it looked like we have audio issues. Just give me one moment here. Let's go to fix this audio issues because it seemed like people are not hearing what we are saying here. Just give me 1 minute, and I can switch this over, and I think it should work. I apologize to our viewers. I apologize to the viewers.
Yes.
Okay, here we go. Dr. Aldo Ajo, I apologize one more time for inconvenience. Now we're able to fix the audio, and I will let you proceed with an opening remarks or saying a word to the people of South Sudan as we continue to do this very important discussion tonight. Go ahead. Do you hear me, Dr. Aldo Ajo Deng? Dr. Aldo Ajo Deng, do you hear me? Do you hear us, Dr. Aldo Ajo Deng?
Yes.
Okay, I was saying that now we were able to fix the audio, and I want to give you that opportunity to have an opening remarks before we move on with discussion. Go ahead.
Your voice is very, very far. Are you hearing me?
Yes, I hear you very well.
What I'm saying is this.
Yes.
This agreement, we actually emerged from war.
Yes.
And this agreement came to stop the war.
Okay.
Not to prepare for another war. And the government, which is still called government of Salva Kiir, is not longer the government of Salva Kiir because government of SPLM has been replaced by unity government, by unity of all parties. So I made that clear for you. For the agreement did not go far. It is very complicated. And this agreement, I think, was designed by enemies, not real friends of South Sudan.
Mm.
And I actually approve this, that it was designed by people who actually have a strategy for South Sudan, not friendly. That was headed by Bashir. It was pulled out of the IGAT and got to Khartoum to complicate it. So the strategy
Yes.
Was not genuine, not in good faith, because so far there is no country that is helping us to implement peace agreement, and the leadership has not been reconciled, and this makes it very difficult because a cabinet of this kind, unity government cabinet, or presidency of 6 mini presidents, cannot go ahead. So the agreement itself does not address the fundamental things of South Sudan. I think there is more study to get this agreement and see people who made this agreement, what was their strategy? Were they to get rid of anybody or get rid of South Sudan? Or actually leave South Sudan insecure for war to continue? That is how we see it. For national dialogue has gone down to the roots.
We will come to that,
and
Dr.
it came with a very well done findings from the people. And President gave it freedom.
Dr.
I'm
Aldo,
talking to you.
Do you hear me?
I hear you very, very little.
Okay, I hope
your
this
voice.
Yeah, I hope this thing can get
far.
Okay. Now, what I'm saying that I said we will get to national dialogue here in a moment, but since you greeted our viewers and then you made a statement, I would like to start a discussion with a few questions here going forward. I hope you are hearing me very well.
I hear you, but not very loud anyway.
Okay. So
your voice is very far.
Okay.
Continue.
You have recently issued a press release, which you have called it Breaking the Silence. The statement focused on 2 things: supporting the revitalized peace agreement on the resolution of conflict in South Sudan and the resolutions of the national dialogue. If I may ask you this question, Dr. Aldo Ajondenga Kure.
Yes, I can answer. I have.
Yes.
I can answer.
Why do you support? Why
the breaking of silence?
I want to continue. I have another segment of the question.
Hello?
Yes, I hear you.
I'm saying we broke silence because we do not actually accept the agreement as it is. We thought the agreement was made really to harm or to leave the South in instability. So we kept quiet. We were a part of the government, and now there is nothing left. There is no war. There is how to implement this peace, and we see that it is not going in sequence that have been placed in the agreement. And you know how people differed from the beginning in 100 days and so on, extensions, and you can see how things are delayed. We thought that after the war has finished and all those who have warring parties have formed a government in Juba, we should actually get in to see how the agreement is really going. Is it being implemented? Do you feel that it is being done? I hear all your voice as opposition. You are still in opposition, but all the parties you had are in the government. We are also part and parcel of what happened. Although the leaders, you are not talking about the leaders that caused war, who divided and caused war. You the figure has been pointed to us as Denka. This one we do not accept because there are a lot of organizations out there. Some are very, very much to themselves, and some are very much making very hateful speeches, and yet they don't get criticized. I think I don't talk about rebellion now because I assume that is finished. And therefore, the only forum now in Juba is implementation of peace. And really, things we see, we cannot keep quiet without pointing out. That's all about the question you have asked.
Okay, thank you. Now, you have described the September 2018 RCs in your press release as far worse than 2015 RCs. And so the JCE, which is Joint Council of Elders, does not believe it will bring a permanent peace in South Sudan. How do you still support it? How do you still support that peace?
Well, we actually, the peace is here. Unless there is another design. Otherwise, if the agreement is really genuine and in good faith, then people should not talk about the war. And they should not talk ill of everybody here. Because they have signed it, they have formed a government, they are here. And they are not moving ahead. What can people who love the peace lovers, what can they do? They have to really find what is the difficulty. For us, the difficulty is that the leaders are not reconciled. They are not reconciled, they are rejecting reconciliation. Is that one good for us? Unless you people are looking for another war. We don't want another war of politicians.
Okay. Now, as an elder, what are you currently doing as an elder to make sure that the parties to the agreement implement this peace agreement?
Well, we have got options. We have got options. The pillars of holding a nation, I wrote it today.
Yeah.
The options that can make the country stand are so many. But we say the formation of the national army, I repeat, the national army, can actually kill the parties which have got armies. Which country can parties have an army? Every party with an army. Is that not chaos beyond even war or parties? We need the national army to collect itself together, and all these splinters of armies be put together to a national army responsible to protect this country, and that is very important to us. We need a national security, both foreign and internal, because they can be responsible for anything outside and internally. They can coordinate. We need the police and we need law enforcement agency. Law enforcement agency will actually be dealing with the judiciary. A judiciary that must be independent, a judiciary that will not actually recognize anybody above the law, from president to anybody not above the law. And that is what we need for democracy and the rule of law. If we are asked soberly, we can provide these ideas. Our thing is about ideas and analysis of what is going on. And that is the option we see should have been the first before anything else. And 2 years we would have already finished now, and we would be free walking around this country, because we need liberties, we need democracy, we need rule of law, because this is a proven system of government. That's we can't create any new thing. That is what we are.
Thank you, Dr. Aldo Ajodeng. Now, you are seen by the general public as a political party in the name of tribe, rather than being a social body that promote a well-being of young people. What is your reaction to that?
We are not responsible for we are not responsible for Jing, as a matter of fact, because the people who actually attacked Denka, the people actually who plan to target the Denka, the people who have got hate speech of Denka are not chiefs. They are not talking about their communities. Why do you think that we can move and we cannot answer politicians who are talking about their community very seriously and who are pushing all the blame to Denka? We are a nationality, one of the nationality of this country. And as nationality of this country, when our country is in crisis, you can volunteer. Take the SPLA. The SPLA, the war was fought by volunteers, my friend. And they were not asked, they were not recruited. So if our country is in crisis, why should we be recruited? We can defend it in the way we want. We can defend it to stay on. And we are tempted to contribute into this with others. Why do we think that we are claiming Denka? I'm one of the people not claiming Denka because I have a constituency. But I'm not going to contest it again. There are young people that are going to contest. So all that against us, JCE, are people who are afraid of politicians. You are afraid of some of these politicians are criminals, and you are afraid to criticize them. They are badly splintered from one party to splintered into parties of war. All that you call warring parties are all eliminated from the SPLM. But you are afraid to mention this. This we have actually clarified and proven in the national dialogue that the whole case began at the SPLM and they continue. They started since 1983, and the two versus SPLA, and they went on in 1991. We were not there, and every time in 2013 and 2016, what do we think it is? And the whole game is Denka. See, are all these people in Europe or anywhere, they are non-Denka and they are anti-Denka, you believe it? We cannot leave that one go. And that is our position, even now.
Thank you. So now you said that you are not responsible for the Dinka, but the name of the group itself, it's Gen Council of Elders. Now, who are the Gen Council of Elders and what actually their objectives? Are they elders or are they political lobby?
We were born in war, and we volunteered to defend the government at that time. If there are people still dwelling, because we are actually the soft target, my friend, we are not soft target. And we are actually people who volunteer to support the government of the day in war, because we didn't want to derail people, to derail our independence. I repeat, to derail our independence. And we volunteer. Why do you concentrate on volunteers? Why? What is the strategy? The strategy is that they wanted to push Salva Kiir as a Denka. We say Salva Kiir was not brought by Denka. Salva Kiir was born out of war, and we came in after 2013, and that's anybody can do that for his own country. Why do you concentrate on this? You better concentrate on peace and how it is being implemented. If you are really for peace, unless you have another plan to go back to war, otherwise.
Absolutely, of course, we don't. I don't have any other place to go back to the war. But the question itself, Dr. Aldo Ajodeng Akwe, if Gen Council of Elders for political lobby, why should political lobby be done in the name of the community? Why not just in any other name then? This is the question that public are asking every time.
John Cole, we have not gone to Addis Ababa to seek peace. We try to talk to communities like us.
Yes.
And we talk to them. We had no ticket to go to Addis Ababa to join the 53 briefcase parties. No, we did not go. And because we did not go, we have no single representative in the government. Why do you say that?
Thank you. Thank you. Now, you said...
And
Go ahead.
You know that people who are doing politics, Hello?
Yeah, I'm here.
Hello?
Yeah, I hear you.
Now, we are not actually doing politics. We are defending ourselves because it is the politicians that started to target the Denka. It is not communities as such. Communities can be answered by communities. But why did they decide? And they have got councils ourselves. Why don't you ask them? It was because we participated to defend the government. Otherwise, if we were to defend the rebellion, you would not be talking with us.
Okay. Now, Dr. Aldo Ajodeng, you said in your press statement, and I quote, since its inception, the Gen Council of Elders intensified its activities in 2014 after the country descended into a political crisis. Our hope then was that we could save the country from fragmentation, unquote. As a council, you sound here like saving by depicting themselves to have played a positive role in public opinion in South Sudan, including the sons and daughters of the Dinka community. Did you really? Okay, go ahead.
Now, have you ever interviewed Riek Machar?
I requested.
Have you ever interviewed Riek Machar?
I requested.
And you went to his past, or you condone him? Because this is not balanced. What you are saying, you cannot begin to blame one side. So I'm sorry to be talking to a rebellion that has not finished. If you are rebels, I can stop here.
I am not a rebel.
Because let me say what should be done now. What should be done now is peace and not conspiracies again to go to war.
Okay.
If people decide to go to war, we can fight again.
No problem. Okay.
If this is peace, then we come to the forum, platform of peace, and let us talk together.
Sure.
For reconcile, forgive, and forget the past. But you are erasing the past in blaming us.
Okay. Thank you.
What do you mean?
Okay, my next question, Dr. Aldo Ajudeng, there is no personal issues here. We are trying to get to the bottom because the issues of the country you have concern.
Then don't go to the past. You accept that there is peace sign and there is a new government of national unity. Let us stop here.
Correct. And we
cannot as individuals to be singled out to account for mistakes that have been done. If this accountability is open, my friend, we will not leave you. With your group, we will not leave you. Don't think that you will be left out. Everybody has got crimes that are proven, but we need to play down this whatever has been committed and underline in order to go ahead with our country. But you seem to be concentrating on JC and leave out the others.
Okay, let's move on.
Why don't you ask them?
Let's move on in peace. Let me move on.
We are not supporters of anybody. You must know.
I got it.
And ideas are very important in building a country. That's what you should know. But to begin to blame, leave everything, leave the implementation of agreement, and you get concentrate on Jian Council to be blamed to have committed this and that and that. We never began war. You must be reasonable. Okay?
I got your point. Dr. Aldo Ajo, but
don't blame.
Yes.
Now let us go to peace, how it can be implemented. That is what we want.
Yes.
But if you want to set somebody accountable, I can stop here not to talk to you.
And I understand your point, Dr. Aldo Ajudeng. Yeah, and the reason
get to the platform of peace.
We are.
Peace.
Actually,
how it can be implemented.
We are.
Leave all this accountability, my friend. Accountability will include you as rebels that have actually rebelled against the government. Is that not a crime? Why do you think that you can single us out? No. You come over here, what has been done and what has been signed in the new government and how they are implementing this. That's what we are questioning. Why do you think that we can be singled out to account to you? To account to all rebels who are now in the government? Can it be fair?
Thank you. Let me move on. But I would like to say this, Dr. Aldo Ajudeng. I am not a rebel, by the way. I'm not a rebel.
You are supporting them.
I'm calling political.
What is support? As we supported the government, we are being made accountable because we did not support the rebellion. That is your intention.
Okay, let's move on. Let's move on with peace process, as you said. Let's move on. But the reason I asked this question, nothing personal. Like I said, things are happening in the past, and we have to acknowledge moving forward. As
the past is shared by so many people. It's not we alone.
Correct. So
why
now,
you cannot single her out.
Now, my next question here, your press statement, a council U-turns against the government. You have been supporting the loyalty, allegiance for the long time. What is behind the sudden political development?
Now, the U-turn
yes,
is the wrong interpretation. Interpretation. It is the wrong one. We were supporting government in war. The government decided to conduct peace. And they have signed agreement with all the opposition parties. And moved to Juba and form a government. Move to Juba and form the government.
Okay.
We are actually joining the platform of implementation of this peace. We are interested in implementation of this peace in order to make peace available for South Sudan for a long time. And I told you that we don't need another war. Is that U-turn for anybody? We cannot have a U-turn for anybody. And we don't need to support anybody. But we can pick out the wrongs that are spoiling the peace. Because we need it.
Thank you. Thank you. Now, we continue with the national dialogue. By supporting the resolutions of the national dialogue, which are rejected by the government in Juba, are you working for political change in the country? Have you prepared? Go ahead.
That is the wrong information. They are not rejected by the government. And I want to tell you this. People want to concentrate on Salva Kiir and Riek, not to contest elections. It is not in the recommendations, and it is not in the resolutions. You go back and read recommendations and resolution, you will not get that version. You will get a well-studied document, a well-done document. We cannot actually call this one. What has happened is that the Secretariat represented to the National Dialogue Conference. I was there. And we rejected it because who are the people to be named not to contest? Anybody prevented not to contest is by law. It is not by an individual to say that or individual to say that so and so will not contest. The application is law. Somebody can be prevented not to contest because of law, a legal case against that person. And no election will accept verbal. But you go down and read properly. Get the recommendations and resolution. You will not get this version. We are not. The Secretariat has written to the President and pointed this out as something people have said. People have said all over the South, and people said it in Juba conference. It is not our making, my friend. You are making a mistake. You better read. Tell your people that reading is safe. You read before you question somebody on ground which you have not proved. That does not work.
Okay. Thank you, Dr.
It is just a report. A report. People said it, but it is not in the resolution.
Well, Dr. Aldo Ajodeng, I have a resolution on my hand, and actually I can read the paragraph that indicated.
Indicated where?
Indicated, you know what I have said? Because you said now it's not mentioned that actually President Kiir and Riek cannot contest unless they have a crime.
No, I'm saying this. Listen, I'm saying this. I'm saying that the Secretariat have written to the President. The President has that what people have said that Salva Kiir and Riek will not contest next elections. It is informative. It is to inform the President. It is not something the National Dialogue has actually recommended or resolved. There is nothing like that.
Thank you.
You get the last one. Get to read.
So, Dr. Aldo Ajodeng, the thing is you are denying that, but actually said it here. We also believe this is coming from the National Dialogue Steering Committee that you are a member.
No. There is a lot of National Dialogue. Go to archives and you will find a lot.
Yeah.
People have talked. People have talked against all the leaders.
And
you read the archives and pick up what you want.
But this is
but don't destinate it to Jain Council. That's not.
Well, I'm not Dr. Aldo Ajo. I'm not saying that to the Jain Council of Elders.
I'm not denying. People have said it.
You are not denying.
In all the conferences.
Okay.
In all the conferences. In the whole conferences, but this is not contained in the resolution and recommendations, my friend.
But it is here. It said we also believe that any success.
You get the archives. You have get the archives and read it. Why don't you read it?
I have it in my hand. You want me to read? I have it in my hand now.
Yourself.
I have it in my hand. I can read it.
Read them.
Okay, it says we also believe that.
You will not get that one, Mike. You will not get it. You will not get it in the real resolution.
So there are two: there are real resolution and non-real resolution.
No. My friend let me advise you. I was in the national dialogue. I was there. It came up and national dialogue rejected it. But I'm telling you, the secretariat are not simple people. They gave their own report to the president. And then to speak up there by media, and here you are talking about it.
Okay, let's move on.
You can ask people you know in the national dialogue. They will tell you the same.
Well, I have the document. Dr. Aldo Ajadeng, and I'm.
You don't have.
Okay.
If you have, you cannot say it in national dialogue conference. You can say it is a report of secretariat to the president. Take it like that. Quote it like that, please.
The heading.
The report of secretariat to the president.
Well, the heading say that the final report of National Dialogue Steering Committee. So that's what we have.
No.
Okay, let's move on. Move on. Can we move on? Let's move on. Now, the government is silent on your press statement. What does that explain when the government is silent? So you made a press conference and the government is not saying anything. What does that mean?
First of all, I want to tell you that the government now is the government of political parties. Riek Machar with his group have got 45%. And Salva Kiir with his group 55%. It is not the government of SPLM, so to speak. It is being carried as if it is the government of SPLM. You people have not reversed the change. It is from there that the change starts. You have not. You are still talking about things which are past. And the new situation is here. The government, if you call it in good name, it is a government of national unity, in which all this 45% and 55% is being implemented from village to the national level. Is that not a change?
Okay.
And if we say how the peace is going, then we are asking the forum. We are not against the government. We want to help what is going on in order to have implementation of this agreement, letter and spirit as they have said. It is not letter and spirit anymore.
Thank you.
So you can actually reverse now, please, that the government is a government of national unity, composed of political parties, in which Salva Kiir has got 55 of the status, and Riek Machar with 45. Have you ever seen a coalition government like that? In 2005, with Khartoum, we had South Sudan, not parties, we had 27%, and Khartoum was 73%, and that was the deal, which was very good. It has no actually the inside plan to get rid of one of the members in the unity government. Unity, once you are committed to unity, it is unity. And you cannot bring back things to spoil unity, my friend. Okay?
Thank you. Now, you have talked of elections that shall be supervised by AU, IGAD, UN. Will this happen as implementation of Revitalized Peace Agreement is very slow?
That's right. That's right. We have talked about it, and that is in the resolution of the national dialogue. There was a paper brought up saying that the whole election will be run by UN. We opposed it and amended it to say the independent and neutral nationals will actually be appointed to the commission, the election commission, without prejudice to supervision of IGAD, AU, or UN. This is a highly reasonable because we are seeing to the future of the same people spoiling elections. We are doing it in the interest of the country, my friend. That's what we did. It is right.
But how that is going to happen, and the peace is not being implemented?
Well,
that election.
Well, maybe implemented, and we pray that the war should not come back again. We have to follow the process up to the time we have finished with all this and embark on democracy, because it is the only medium and the only means to change the government. And anybody attempting to change the government by force, we oppose it.
Thank you. Now, do you think the political change through a ballot boxes is possible in South Sudan under President General Salva Kiir Mayar and First Vice President Dr. Riek Machar?
It is possible if these leaders are reconciled. If they are reconciled, in order for public of South Sudan to be reconciled, South Sudanese are people, very resilient people, and they know what it means to have a country. And they have run so many elections, and always they choose the best. You can remember our referendum, 99%, and you can remember when Salva Kiir and Riek were elected in 2010. They are very good, and there was fairness at the top. He voted. He never touched Lamakol. And our people, there is a hope that they are democratic, they are liberal. Why not? Unless these people are not reconciled, there will be a spoil. We need them to be reconciled, put the rest behind, and do something for the country to come out of the chaos.
Thank you. But Dr. Aldo Ajodeng, the leadership in the country, the president has shown that they are not interested in implementing this peace agreement. And they are not showing the reconciliation among themselves. And I quote, the Minister of Information in 2017 in Addis Ababa said, President Salva Kiir will never work together with Dr. Riek Machar. How that reconciliation going to be possible then, if since this time, in your opinion?
This was true. Right now, talking with you, Riek Machar has rejected the national dialogue. He did not participate. He withdrew his people from the national dialogue, and all parties participated. All the parties participated, and that is, I think, Michael McQuay predicted the kind of person that is to deal with, and that may be his prediction. I assume, because up to now, he's rejecting reconciliation.
Yeah, and that's why I'm saying how that's going to be possible. People of South Sudan are hostage to President.
We come together on the platform and force them to reconcile. We cannot leave the country go the way it is going. Yes, let us come to this peace, whether we like it or not. It is already in the hands of international people, and if we don't handle it properly, we are already internationalized our country. We have opened it and put it to people all over the world. We can't get out of this unless we do better. You see, in order to gain confidence of the world. Otherwise, we have spoiled our name.
Okay. Now, Dr. Aldo Ajodeng, before I give you the last question, the resolution of national dialogue has main two options. That President Salva Kiir and First Vice President step aside and exit political life if South Sudan has to move forward, and also give the option that any successful election in South Sudan must not include President Kiir and Dr. Riek Machar. I want to get your perspective from that.
Say it again. What do you say?
I said the National Dialogue Resolution indicated that President Kiir and Dr. Riek Machar, if South Sudan has to move forward, they must exit political life. That's first option. The second option, talk about if election has to be credible. And then these two leaders must not run for any election. Do you support that?
It is not. By the way, I told you that this was presented and we rejected it. We rejected it because nobody can be disqualified by politicians, especially the opponents. With me, as somebody in the SPLM, I cannot disqualify Riek Machar or anybody. But the law that actually convict Riek Machar not to contest, the people out there will vote. Our problem is based on these people are not working together. That's the problem. But nobody can opt to say that so and so will not contest. It is unreasonable, and it had never happened in anywhere. Nobody. But people said it. Many people said it in the conferences. It is in the archives. See, and in the archives, the secretariat have actually reported to the president. That is what people have said.
Thank you.
And you know, if you read Angelo Beda, you will find that Angelo Beda has a question. What went wrong? What went wrong? That is the text of Angelo Beda, opening.
Okay. Well, Dr. Aldo Ajodeng Akwe, I really thank you, but I want you to send a last message. What is the last message to our viewers, to the people of South Sudan?
Okay. People of South Sudan?
Yes. Your last message.
What I say is this. We were divided and we went to war. We had two factions of the war, the opposition and the government. Then Salva Kiir actually managed Riek Machar to get what we call peace deal now. And on the other hand, we were constituted as a national dialogue to go to the grassroots and open up anybody to say anything, not subjected to security. We emerged together, calling for unity of this country together. Equatoria, Barghazal, and Upper Nile, we agreed on a constitution, a federal system of constitution as a basis for our unity. What is wrong with that? We have actually agreed on this, and I'm telling the people all over our country that our people are very good. They have agreed on unity, provided that this constitution is worked out, which is also in the agreement. Let us actually put ourselves together and save the country, because we have a chance now to build the country together. And that's what I say. And for us, we have moved to the implementation of this one. Implementation of this peace, and what is wrong there, what is good there, so that we cannot be isolated. The public would have to hear transparency of how this peace is being implemented. So we have come out with unity, and that is our hope for all of us. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, veteran politician Dr. Aldo Ajodeng. You were with us here in Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. Please, we really appreciate you for coming on and speaking with us. We don't hold anything against anyone, but we care as you care for the country. And that's why we have to do this here on this very humble forum. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful night.
Thank you very much. But I listened to the man you call Dengit. Dengit was not fair.
Dengit Ayok
was not fair. Yeah, and told Dengit Ayok was not fair.
In terms of what?
And the fairness I want is that you balance your interviews, because you are interviewing after peace has been achieved. So you get in how it can be implemented. It is where we will get these leaders. But to leave it out and blame some people, I advise that you better change. Like we have done, the really bothering forum now is the implementation forum. The unity government is not moving.
But Dr. Aldo Ajodeng, yes, we always call upon the government official, but they refuse. They always discredit this forum. They think it's just a noise. That's how they feel. They think it's just a noise in the social media. They don't think actually this forum has an ideas to offer the country.
No, that is what they do even to us. That we have been, when we tell the public that we have been doing alone, public disown. They say, no, you have been with the president. Why did you not do it? No. When we say we have been answering alone, you know, I have 5 years reading, writing. I have never stopped one day in the Facebook. You see? Because I was concerned. But they do it for you and they do it for others. They don't listen.
Well, thank you. Let this be the beginning of conversation.
Let us start, and you focus on implementation of this peace.
Well, thank you one more time. Have a lovely night.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shukran. Thank you.
So with that, the viewers of Concerned Citizen of South Sudan, we end our interview with the veteran politician, Dr. Aldo Ajodeng Akwe. He was live by phone in Juba. So now I will give this an opportunity to some brothers here to come and get their perspective in as well. So let me go ahead and do this. So let me take a little bit here of a break. And actually, I send the link. Mading Maniel, if you are there, Abdallah Garang, you can make any request as well. And we move on with this. So, I don't know if you are ready. So, we really want to hear from you. Dr. Aldo Ajodeng already stated that you are not fair. I want to get your reaction in that. Let's be positive, my dear brothers and sisters. We agree to disagree, and that's fine. Nothing personal. We don't want to take anything personal here, right? When speaking the issue of our country, we need to have peace in our hearts, having a discussion. So, like I said, go ahead. The link is down here. You may come, and then we move on from here. And we apologize for one more time that we were not able to get Dr. Aldo Ajodeng on the screen because of technical issues in Juba. But at the end of the day, we did what we have done so far. So the link is there. Sadengdi Ayok, please. Others, Sad Abdullah Garang, Moses, and anyone that wanted to participate, go ahead and copy the link, paste it on the Chrome or Safari, whatever it can be. And then we will hear from you as well. So let's go ahead and do this. Don't go away. I'm going to do a little bit of break here, and then we'll go back. We are also live on the Facebook as well, as we are live here simultaneously live on Facebook and Facebook on YouTube at the same times. So. Okay, I do see that. Ustad Dengdit, you are here. Ustad Dengdit Ayok, welcome to Concerned Citizen of South Sudan, and it's good to see you. And one more time, I said I apologize for inconvenience. We were hoping to have Dr. Aldo Ajo on the screen, but unfortunately, the network didn't cooperate. But we managed to do what we have done through the phone so far. So I want to get your reaction. Ustaz Dengdit Ayok, go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Jonkor. I greet you, and I also greet the viewers of Concerned Citizen of South Sudan for tuning in tonight to follow the issues, the three issues
Yes.
that are being discussed here. I followed the interview right from the beginning. But the interview actually did not go the way I expected it to go, because Dr. Aldo Ajo refused the blame on the JCE.
And threat to leave, actually. He threatened me to leave.
And he threatened you to quit the show because he doesn't want to answer the questions that talk about the JCE as being part of the political problem in South Sudan. And because of this, I think he actually forced you to stop asking questions about the JCE.
You are cutting off, Ustaz Dengdit. I hope this thing will cooperate and we'll move on. Okay, Ustaz Dengdit, let me do this so you can come back. Yeah, we will continue to do more analysis, of course. Yeah. Wait. And actually, it looked like in our interview, it should have gone more smoothly. We did what we can do. But my guest actually, threatened me to leave the topic. But it would have been beneficial for the people of South Sudan to hear all, different aspects. But he decided not to be there. Otherwise, then he will leave. So, which is actually not okay, because we're supposed to accept, regardless. We can disagree. We can agree to disagree. And this is what I said from the beginning of the show. But we are different. I see you, Ustaz Maniel. You may come in. I'll bring you later, dear brother, because I have lined up these brothers here to come and speak, and then we will open to others also to come in. So let me go ahead and do this. Ustaz Dengdit, go ahead and come back, and then we'll move on. Okay, Ustaz Maniel, you are not here. While we are waiting for Ustaz Maniel, let me go ahead and bring you a word as well, so we can hear your perspective.
Hey man.
Go ahead. Faddal. We are not hearing you, Agwat. We are not hearing you. I don't know what's the problem. Yeah. We cannot hear you.
Is it good?
No, your audio is not good. Go ahead and fix it and come back, because we don't want to waste a lot of time. Let me go ahead and bring Meding Maniel. Welcome to Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. I know انت تابعت اللقاء زي ما ذكر استاذ دينجد، اللقاء ما مشى بالصوره المفروض، لانه Uncle Dr. John Deng Akwe refused for JCE to be criticized, and just wanted to focus on the peace deal and national dialogue in the country. But we always, make this clear that we agree to disagree, which seem like is not getting way in to some, politician in our country. It is sad, quite sad, but we try to do our best, because what we do for the interest of the people of South Sudan. So, Ustaz Maniel, welcome to Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. Let me give you an opportunity to go ahead. Fadal.
Thank you very much, John Curran and Susan, for inviting me also to elaborate about the interview with Dr. Aldo Joe Deng, one of our elders and veteran politician in South Sudan, former Sudan and South Sudan. Yeah, I do agree with what you have said. The interview was not what we are expecting from His Excellency, Honorable Aldo Joe. But it's not surprising to me or to any viewers because these guys, these politicians, they're under a lot of pressure internally, and also they want to play a role, which is they want to please the government, as well also they want to please the South Sudan. But emphasize on one thing which I would like really to bring to attention, and I do agree. I disagree with Uncle Aldo totally. Categorically. who حاول to brand any opposition as a rebel. That's totally wrong, and I condemn it. Is amount to bullying, totally bullying people not to express their ideas, and that's one of the things. And they are talking about democracy in South Sudan, recommendation that we need a democratic South Sudan, and you don't want to accommodate other people's views and ideas. That's just bullying and also disregard of other opinions. And he wants people to support the Revitalized peace agreement, which many people supported. Nobody against peace. Any peace in our country that could save individual life, even one person life, is acceptable, or we support it. We in National People Movement, we supported this peace agreement, although we're not signatories to it. But the reason why we support it, we need a conducive atmosphere where there will be a democracy in the country.
Yeah, can you go closer to microphone?
Okay, but unfortunately, they fail to implement it, and they want people to support something which really failed, and is failing and continue to fail. If they're serious really to provide peace and reconciliation in the country, they should work together to bring that peace. كلام الدكتور ألدا جو مليان تناقضات كثير جدا. انت لو شفتها في حديثه هو ما في استقرار وما في رؤية ثابتة او رؤية واضحة. اول شيء بيتكلم منهم ما ينتقدون نهاية. وفي عمل السياسي صعب انه ما تنتقد، لانه في عمل السياسي جزء من اللعبة السياسية انه اخفاقاتك لازم الجماهير يعرف اخفاقاتك ونجاحاتك كمان. وهو اللي بيتكلم، لانه لو شفت سلسلة تاريخ ما يعني الماضي والحاضر والمستقبل هي عبارة عن عملية السيكونس، يعني continuation. you can أنا مش عايز تتكلم عن الماضي بتاعتي سياسيا أو التاريخ السياسي، تتكلم عني الآن. في نفس الوقت أنت عايز مستقبل، أنت هتبني مستقبل كيف؟ المستقبل ده أصلا جزء من ماضيك، فأنت هتبني الدولة كيف؟ المشكلة حقيقة وقع فيه سياسيين كبار، وبالذات اللي هم الجيم كانسل اوف إلدرز. هو الآن بيتكلم عن ناشونال آرمي، في نفس الوقت هو بيتكلم عن جيم كانسل اوف إلدرز. أنت هتبني ناشونال آرمي كيف؟ فين أنت ماخذ مواقف سياسية معينة. ما نفس الشيء ناشونال آرمي ده will be comprised of Dinka and Nuer and Shuluk and the rest of the tribes. فلو أنت بتنظر إنه أنت عايز democratization the country وأنت ما عايز نادي يتكلموا عنه في أخطار تكون مثلا جين كانسل اوف إلدرز وغيره، نفس الناشونال آرمي ده هيكون جزء من اللعبة السياسية. وهيبقى زي أي دول تاني الموجود في أفريقيا، ونحن هنكون عايشين في نفس المنوال. ما حيحصل أي تغيير أبدا. ده كلام متناقض. إلا يكون في national agenda في South Sudan. And we are lacking national agenda. national agenda إنه يكون في أجسام قومية عندها توجه قومي، لا يعقل أبدا أنت تكون لك جسم قبلي وفي نفس الوقت بتقول لا أنت مع جسم سياسي، وفي نفس الوقت يعني بتلعب. for example عندك ناس زي أنت ذكرت وزير الإعلام نفسه مايكل ما أقدر أقول مع رياض أو ما هيقبلوا رياض مثلا أو يتعاملوا مع رياض. وقت هو بيتكلم في مجلس الوزراء أو بيتكلم في إطار بتاع حكومة بتاع الحركة الشعبية أو داخل حزبه كوزراء بتاع الحزب، وفي نفس الوقت بمشي بيشتغل برا في جين كانسل اوف إلدرز، وفي نفس الوقت هو عضو في برلمان. فهنا في تناقض يعني في الأدوار هنا. هل يعقل الشخص زي ده ممكن يكون سند حقيقي للسلام؟ وإذا كان جين كانسل اوف إلدرز ما جزء حقيقة من اللعبة السياسية موجود في جنوب السودان، كان الأقدر إنهم ما يسمحوا للناس في جهاز تنفيذي وجهاز تشريعي يكون أعضاء هناك في جين كانسل اوف إلدرز، حتى هم يقدروا يعكسوا وجه الحقيقي إنه تنظيم مجتمع مدني. لكن الآن هؤلاء النفر هم جزء أساسا في جين كانسل اوف إلدرز. إذا كلام اللي بيقول الجين كانسل اوف إلدرز بينقلوها داخل حكومة، ودي بيخلق خلط بين شيئين، إما تبقى تنظيم مجتمع مدني يا تبقى جزء من حكومة، يا تبقى حكومة أو تبقى حزب. دي ما عندنا في بخصوص جين كانسل اوف إلدرز. تحديد الناس انه انتوا لما تتكلموا انتوا ريبلز وبالذات ناس من عناصر هم من الدينكا، this is amount to what happened in Rwanda. لما كان ناس من بعد الهوتوس بيتكلموا بالصوت يا اخي انقسام في البلد والعمل القبلي ده كريادي rebels and some of them lost their life. ده شغل خطير. وده بيذكرني لي كلام اللي قاله الرئيس الفكير ميادي لما رجع من بعد وقعوا اتفاق في الخرطوم، جاء في المطار وكان بخاطب ناس في المطار، وده كمان على الملأ يعني كلام في تي في. كان بيقول للجوك اللي هو كان شيف الستاف، بيقول له هو واحد من اولادكم وهو جاي مع توماس شيلو معروف هو بيقتل في دينكا، كيف الراجل يكون معه؟ دي كلام غير منطقي. انا كجنوب انا ممكن اكون في حزب او ممكن اعيد اي شخص مع اراءه السياسيه، لو كان توماس شيلو ولا رياض مشار ولا غيره. لكن انا شخصيا انا ضد عام ستروجل. انا اخترت طريق اخر، هو طريق تحول ديمقراطي او نظام غير مسلح. ده بدينا حق سياسي انه اقول كلامي في اطار القانون. لكن الان كلام اللي بيقوله السيد ألدو أجو متناقض، وانا كنت بتمنى انه حديثهم او their last move now at Gen Council is gonna pave the way for the democratization of South Sudan.
At least to be consistent. يكون في consistency في كلام اللي قالوه يوم 26 شهر 1. Go ahead.
But it seems they want to cement the position of the government. And I will go back to exactly what's the concept of this national dialogue. National dialogue was formed by government. In fact, it was تحايل أو تخلص من اتفاق السلام الموجود الآن بأن national council يجي من الجماعة دي على أساس إنه يمد الحكومة ده لفترة ما، لأنه أوضاع الأمنية أو اتفاق لم يتم تطبيقه وهم يواصلوا بالسلطة لفترة أطول. هو أصلا كان تحايل، محاولة تحايل، لكن للأسف is backfire في بعض
Thank you أستاذ مدين. أنا داير أمشي لأستاذ دينجديد وبعد كده أنا برجع لك. أستاذ دينجديد, welcome back. I apologize, لأنه network. Aldo Ajo Deng mentioned your name. Dr. Aldo Ajo Deng Akwe mentioned your name. And as well as, he refused and he threatened me if I continue with the criticism of Gen Council of Elders, and then he will withdraw from the interview. I tried to work it out with him because we don't want to deny people of South Sudan from this conversation. And also there's so many contradiction, within this interview. He denied, actually the two options of the National Dialogue Resolution, which is if South Sudan has to move forward, then President Salva Kiir and Dr. Riek Machar, they have to exit political life. One. Second option, We believe that any credible action, and I حفظته في راسي ذات من غير ما نرجع نقلاه. أنا كلام بقول we believe that any credible in South Sudan, you know, if election has to be credible, and then President Kir Mayar and Dr. Riek Machar should not participate. These are two options that have been given, but he denied. He said there's not such a thing, and he was saying that actually I was reading from somewhere who is not from National Dialogue. That's why I asked a question: is there any another original document than the one that we have? So, Sir, I want to get your reaction.
Thank you once again, Mr. Jonkor and all the viewers, and I salute Mr. Mading Manuel, and I really applaud him for the clarification he made. I was about to say something, but then the network cut me short. Now, this show was discussing 3 issues.
Correct.
The Revitalized
peace agreement
on conflict resolution in South Sudan. This is number 1. Number 2, the national dialogue resolutions. And then number 3, the prospects for political change in South Sudan. Aldo Ajo came in to discuss these 3 issues with you, but then he preferred to talk about the implementation of peace agreement
and reconciliation between Kir and
reconciliation, and he refused talking about the JCE. He rejected all the questions that you put down for him about the role of the JCE. And I think he made it clear right from the beginning of the show, and I quote his word. I was writing, by the way. He said, we should not be taken as people who have destroyed South Sudan. That's what he said from the beginning. So why should he tell us that they should not be looked at as people who destroyed South Sudan, as the JCE? Because he actually followed our last show and he got the message clear. And then in his own word also, there's another place where he said, we are part and parcel of what happened. Now, try to compare these 2 statements. We should not be taken as people who have destroyed South Sudan. This is 1. 2, we are part and parcel of what happened. Now, I want the viewers of concerned citizens of South Sudan to judge that our speaker was telling us that they should not be held accountable as Jiang Council of Elders. They should not be held accountable and should not be looked at as people who destroyed South Sudan. And then, as he was going on talking, and then he said, we are part and parcel of what happened. The question is, what happened? What did he mean by what happened? What happened is war, the political crisis. So he admitted that they are part and parcel of the political crisis that happened in our country. So there was a lot of contradiction in the statement he made, and he didn't want us to talk about their negative role as Jiang Council of Elders. And when we come to this forum, we don't favor anyone. We condemn all the actions of all these politicians.
Correct.
Whether it is President Salva Kiir Mayardit or Dr. Riek Machar change of the SPLM IO or anyone in the SPLM. Personally, I always talk about the SPLM as the problem of South Sudan. So when he said that, why don't you interview Dr. Riek Machar or anyone from the IO? I think we can interview anyone from the IO, but then will they be ready to listen to us and answer our critical questions? Because Aldo Ajo now refused answering critical questions about the JCE, and those questions that you were about to ask are actually the questions that the public is asking. So what happened here? What happened here is that he dodged us, and he didn't want us to hit the iron while it is hot.
Mm-hmm.
So the interview did not achieve its goals or its objectives. And I completely disagree with our veteran politicians, Aldo Ajo Deng, and the spokespersons of the Jing Council of Elders. All right, now he made another contradictory agreement, a statement. He said this agreement came to stop the war. And then he said the agreement was designed by the enemies of South Sudan.
Mm.
And the enemies of South Sudan, he means here the Bashir and his regime. Now, if you compare these two statements, you will see that there is a great contradiction here. He said the agreement came to stop the war. The question is, did war stop in South Sudan after the signing of this agreement in December 2018 in Khartoum? Aldo Ajo here was talking about peace in South Sudan. I think he was not talking about peace, because peace is much more than is much more than power sharing. He was actually talking about power sharing between the politicians. He was not talking about peace. As we talk now, there is no peace in Greater Equatorial Region. As we talk here, there is no peace in the Greater Upper Nile. As we talk here, there is no peace in Bahr Ghazal. What peace was he talking about? Is it because Dr. Riek Machar is now in J1 together with Salva Kiir, Taban Dengai, and the rest of the the rest of the vice presidents? There are no government in the state. What peace is he talking about? I think he was talking about power sharing. He wasn't talking about peace. When we talk about peace here, we want a comprehensive peace that will engulf the entire country, whereby our people in the countryside cannot be terrorized. Our sisters cannot be raped. Our citizens cannot be killed, whether it is in Equatoria or in Bahr Ghazal or in Upper Nile. But this is not there. So I did not expect such things to happen, but it happened anyway.
Yeah,
Aldo Ajo is a veteran politician, and he is very good in dodging people. So I completely disagree with him. Now, coming back to the point where he said I was not fair, I don't understand what did he actually mean that I was not fair. Is it because I criticized the Jing Council in our last show? Yes, they played a negative role, and I will continue to say this as long as I am alive. Look, he was dodging you because he said, don't go back to the past. Let's talk about the present. We are talking about the past and we are talking about the present, because Jing Council of Elders started in 2014. But did the Jing Council of Elders stop to exist? The council is still existing as we talk now here. So we are talking about the past action of the council, and we are also talking about the present action of the council. So we are correct. There is nothing wrong with us. But you were diplomatic enough, Mr. Jonkur.
I did my best.
You didn't want him to go early at the beginning of the show when he was threatening you that he would like to go. You were diplomatic enough, and you were able to contain him and tackle some issues with him before it was too late. So he dodged us. That is the nature of politicians. Look, now, when you ask him a questions about their support to the national dialogue resolutions, when you came to the point where you said that the president and the first vice president are said by the people of South Sudan to be the trouble in the country and they have to go. What was his response? He rejected this, which means Aldo Ajo, as a politician and as an elder, is supporting President Salva Kiir Mayardit to remain in power. He's also supporting Riek Machar to remain in power. When the national dialogue clearly said that they are the problem, and if South Sudan is to move forward, then they have to go.
Yeah, exit politics.
I think all the viewers have noticed this, and it is now very clear that the Jing Council of Elders are supporters of President Salva Kiir, although he made it very clear with Matiang Shirilo that they are not supporters of anybody. It was clear, evidently clear, that they are supporters of President Salva Kiir Mayardit. Why should he refuse the stepping down of President Salva Kiir Mayardit and the first Vice President Riek Machar? Why should he refuse this when it is actually the demand of the people of the Republic of South Sudan? Here is the problem. This is now the real problem. Is it because he was speaking in Juba? Well, if he talked that way because he was in Juba, then I can forgive him or I can keep quiet. But if he was sincerely talking, then that was not actually right. But one thing I want to say here, our political correctness on this forum will be one day recognized. All right? I want someone to mark my word. Our political correctness is 100%, and it will be one day recognized by those elders. We are not against anybody. We are not against President Salva Kiir Mayardit as a person. We talk about him as a leader, and we say that he is not worthy to lead our country. Yes. The same thing with Dr. Riek Machar, because under their leadership, the people of South Sudan are suffering. There is no unity, and a lot of things. So saying that I was not fair, I disagree with him because I don't favor anyone, whether it is Salva Kiir as president or first Vice President Riek Machar or anyone else, those who are in power. I don't favor anyone. The truth must be told, and the truth must be always told with boldness and with certainty. We will not change this voice, and we will continue to fight until this regime is down. I will stop here so that Mr. Madin can continue with the rest, and I will come back. I have a lot of things to say.
Yeah, thank you, Ustaz Dengdi Dayog, for that perspective. Ustaz Madin Menyel, I tried to read. Actually, I have the document of National Dialogue with me here. I have the two. I tried to read, but Dr. Uncle John Dengakwe stopped me from reading. He stopped me from reading. And he denied that actually what I tried to read is not in there. And he said I should, read from the Secretariat instead of reading the final report of National Dialogue. So now
the covering note.
And at the same time, last time when we conducted the show that I have Morwell on the show, he made a very good comment, actually, Dr. Aldo Ajodeng, and he said that these two documents, they don't contradict. The one that you have in hand, that's his statement, what he wrote underneath. What you have in your hand is the cover note of the first document. But today, he said no. Now, what do we have to believe now? Who do we have to believe? Go ahead.
Thank you to you again, and to brother and comrade Dengdi and viewers. In fact, this contradiction is something expected from such leaders or our old politicians. It's part of their games, and try always to tell something and tomorrow to produce something different. And we do understand from where they came from politically, and that was the situation how they survived politically, because they don't have that base really to survive politically with ideas. And whenever you don't have any ideology or ideas or vision, you will move in this contradiction, and you will continue to contradict yourself. Let me be very clear on these things. الكلام اللي قالوا ده ما جزء من توصيات. لو افترضنا انه ما جزء من توصيات، وانه دي كلام قدموها كمشوره نصح للرئيس. مشوره او نصح للرئيس. اوكي، في كلا حالتين بيطلب من الرئيس انه ونائبه not to contest election or to step down.
Yeah.
Let us be very clear. نحن ما عندنا حق نقول مثلا لحزب SPLM IO or SPLM Kiir to change the leadership. That is up to them. They can remain as leaders of their own respective political parties. But we are the people of South Sudan. We have a right, we have a choice to say we don't want this person. And what crimes he wants. مؤتمر الجامعة اللي عملوها ده عبارة عن استفتاء شعبي. والشعب بتاع الجنوب قال رأيه. إذا كان استفتاء شعبي والشعب بتاع الجنوب قال رأيه إنه these two gentlemen should not contest election anymore and pave the way for changing the country, democratic change in the country. There's no need for them again to say no. We have no right to tell these people. This total contradiction. What gave you right to say, to recommend that we need a supervised election in South Sudan? At the same time, you refuse these two gentlemen to step down. This is total contradiction. You are the same body, you are the same people who just recommend, and now you are reneging from what you have recommended, and you want to say, no, that was not true, due to the pressure you got within the country. Doesn't make sense. Doesn't make sense at all. And what Dr. Elder Joe is trying to say is totally a different thing. There are two things which are happening. Jin Council of Elders وحكومة بتاع حركة شعبية حتى هو قال يا أخي ده حكومة بتاع وحدة وطنية. ده حكومة بتاع وحدة وطنية. لكن the other parties that are juniors in that agreement. The Kiir, حركة شعبية بتاع Kiir is the one in the lion's share. When you get the lion's share in the government, is the one which is now deciding most of the decision of the government, which influence the revitalized peace agreement, in where there's some other parties are not happy, like Riek Machar, Dr. Riek Machar. He is still also referring to Riek Machar as a rebel. Riek Machar is not rebel anymore, it's part of the government. I don't know exactly كيف انت تقول لزول معك في حكومه هم لسه متمردين جزء من حكومتك الان. الحركه الشعبيه فقدت البوصله ودي مشكله كبيره ومشكله حقيقيه. There are two things. تبقى حزب الحكومه وحزب السلطه. الحركه الشعبيه الان الدور الاساسي هو حزب بتاع السلطه، عايز يتشبث بالكرسي بتاع السلطه، يكون في السلطه. لكن ما حزب بتاع السلطه، ما حزب بتاع الحكومه بمعنى الحقيقي، لانه ما عندهم فيجن عشان يحكموا. لهذا اساس they living in this contradiction. ارجع للجين كانسل اوف إلدرز. الكلام اللي بيقوله ده جو ما في اركيف، هو بيقول لك ارجع لاركيف. مش نحن نرجع لاركيف، هو المفروض يرجع لاركيف. لانه the trend of the events from the perception of the Gen Council of Elders show exactly the level of support to the government of Kiir Mayardit and their negative role in politics of South Sudan. And he is saying that why we are condemned. And he said that we stand up to defend Gen. And he said, no, it's not necessary that all of we reflect all the views of the Gen. All are contradiction. Why do you want to stand up to protect citizens of South Sudan while the role of government is to protect its own citizens? لماذا كيف يعني هو to protect interests again أو
at the same time, you know, Ustaz Vadim Maniel, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, when those so-called chiefs of the Dinkas, when they came out, they contradict, they were criticizing, you know, Gen Council of Elders for their stand, for the press statement they have released. He actually addressed them. He said these people are politically handicapped. They don't even have language, which is gave us hope that actually those elders now they are in right track. They have acknowledged the bad thing that had happened in the country, and they want to be with the people. With the interview with the Radio Tamazic, girl, we are not with the government, but we are with the people. So I'm really stunning, you know, for today. So go ahead.
This رابطة مصالح بين مجموعة 30 تدينكا وجين كانسل ويلدرز. وحكومة طبعا ممكن يلعب التناقضات ده لأنه عارف very well منو يحتاج لمنو في وقت معين وما يحتاج لمنو في وقت معين. وده كله proxies. The proxies الحكومة. He's used these proxies from time to time, and we know we are not naive to that extent that he can play. He is the government that pushing this Salatin to say what they are saying, because the government start to fear from Young Council of Elders due to the statement they released. But in reality, even the statement they released, they mentioned the fact, those facts in that statement that not, and what the Elder Joe is saying now, they are totally contradicted. And I have read the interview with Joshua Dow, which is the chairman of Young Council of Elders. He made it very clear their objectives. This show exactly تناقض داخل او الخط السياسي داخل جين كانسل ويلدز، وده بوري تركيبه الجين كانسل ويلدز. انت عارف رجعت للتاريخ، تركيبه الجين كانسل ويلدز لهم راس، ناس كانوا حزب سان، ناس كانوا حزب جبهه، ناس كانوا قصص، ناس كانوا معلمين، ناس ما كان عندهم اي جهه سياسيه. ده لهم راس يدافع مصالحهم، وكما هم بيدافع المصالح بتاعت مونجان او جين ان جنرال، بدل لهم راس عندها مصالح معينه هذه يحققوا. Once this مصالح ما موجوده او they cannot be achieved, definitely هيكون في تناقض جواهم، لان اصلا ما عندهم فكر وما عندهم ايديولوجي. لهذا اساس في تناقض، والتناقض ده هيستمر. لكن في النهايه الحكومه هتحتويهم، لان هم ما عندهم ما يقدروا يعملوا شيء. انا كان عندي وانا I was really expecting a great hope in the recent movement or recent is going to bring change within the country. لكن اللسان اللي بيتكلم عن اللسان تسيل هذا جو today او في حديثه اليوم معك او في انترفيو معك، رجع لحقيقتهم وورا حقيقتهم and really what is in their mind. ودي اساسا بوريك الاغليه المتحجره لهؤلاء السياسيين، متشبثين بالسياسه، ما عايزين يتخلوا عن السياسه، وما عايزين حتى to retire from politics، يخلوا ناس ثانيين مثلا يشتغلوا لمصلحه بتاعت جنوب السودان وغيره. What I want to emphasize, مصلحه الجين is a part of مصلحه جنوب السودان. There's nothing called انا ماشي ادافع عن قبيله معين. انت عايز تكون دوله بتاعت قبائل، اللي تقول لنا عايز اعيش في دوله بتاعت قبائل مش دوله قوميه، وفي نفس الوقت انت بتقول يا اخي انت زول قومي، او انت بتجيب مقررات بتاعت الناشونال دايلوج which is a national thing. It's a lot of contradiction في كلام بتاع Elder Joe, and also it's start to attacking individuals. ده ما الروح بتاع العمل السياسي. We were not attacking him as a person, we are attacking his ideas. Regardless, he's our elder, we respect him much. He have done a lot to the people of South Sudan. He have done a lot to his own constituency. That's just a credit. Nobody can deny that. But doesn't mean that it's a blank check for him to do whatever he does, he wants to do, and he wants us to approve that. We are not rubber stamp. We are not the parliament in Juba, which is a rubber stamp to the government. We are not going to stamp anything, whatever the Young Council of Elders say, or any one of the politicians in South Sudan going to say about their own view. We criticize their views, not only Elder Joe, we criticize the SPLM, leadership of Salva Kiir. We criticize Dr. Riek Machar for his role in destruction of the country. We criticize anyone else. But if you come with your own ideas that for rebuilding this country, we agree with you. But you cannot just want to impose on others to accept your views, and you want also to reject them or to attack them in person. This is a character assassination of individuals and unacceptable to all of us in any political arena. He is trying that to تعليب الناس، تعليب أرى الناس لأخ دينجي مرفوض بتاتا. أنا شخصيا برفضه جملة وتفصيلا. ده تعليب الرأي العام للناس، وتعليب الرأي بتاع الدينكا بالذات ضد أي واحد دينكا عنده آراء مختلفة أو غيره، وده مرفوض.
Thank you. أنا بشكرك أستاذ مدين منيل. أستاذ دينجي أنا برجع لك تكمل. And then maybe لو في ناس تانيين دايرين يخشوا برضه نايدا. أنا بطلع أستاذ مدين منيل, and then I will bring you back later if we want to. You wanted to add more. Let me go ahead and do that. Go ahead, أستاذ دينجي, تفضل.
I will continue to make comment on what veteran politician and elder John Deng have said. كلامي يا جماعة هيكون مواصلة بتاع التعقيب على كلام بتاع السياسي والالدر بتاعنا ألدو جو. وانا داير الناس اللي بيشاهدوا الفيديو ده يفهمونه كويس.
نعم.
I am not attacking him personally. أنا ما عندي معه مشكلة شخصيا. الخلاف our differences I think are افكار يعني بنختلف في الفكره بس. فما في زول nobody should take me يعني in a wrong way. This is what I want to say. لانه الناس الشباب زينا كده وقت يتكلموا مع الناس كبار او وقت زول كبير يتكلم وجيت يتعاقب وراه ثقافيا، يعني في مفاهيم ثقافيه في المجتمع بانه الصغير ما ممكن يغالط الكبير، لكن ده من ناحيه ثقافيه اجتماعيه. لكن ده يا جماعه ده سياسه، خلونا نختلف، يكون في ادب بتاع الاختلاف لانه ده سياسه. جونكور عايز تقول حاجه؟
No, أنا قلت في سياسة of course we can agree to disagree and that's the norm in politics.
ايوه بالضبط كده. الثلاثه قضايا اللي احنا بنتكلم فوقه لسه ما جينا لكونكلوجن زاد ولسه ما ناقشنا الكلام ده. اذا افترضنا جدلا بانه اتفاقيه سلام ده اتفاقيه حقيقيه وماشي كويس، فواضح يا جماعه ان احنا قلناه كثير في المنبر ده. I do not support this peace agreement. انا ما بأيد اتفاقيه بتاعت سلام. وانا عندي اسباب. انا لما بقول انا ما بأيد انا عندي اسباب. اتفاقيه بتاعت سلام ده is not يا جماعه going anywhere. ما ماشي اي مهل، ما في تنفيذ له. كويس؟ كون انه تم تكوين حكومه شهر 2 السنه اللي فاتت، وعينوا النواب بتاع الرئيس، وعينوا الوزراء القوميين، ثم بعد ذلك الحكام، ده ما يقول اتفاقيه كله. مع الحكام بعد ما يتم تعيينهم لازم كمان يكون لهم حكومات حقهم والمجالس التشريعيه بتاعينهم. ده ما تم. حكام قاعدين بدون حكومات في كل الولايات ال10. ده has to be marked. لما تجي للحكومه القوميه ذاته في حاجه اسمه reconstitution of the National Legislative Assembly. الريكونستيتيوشن ما حصل، اعاده التكوين بتاع البرلمان ما حصل. وكلكم كناس متابعين البرلمان ده استدعى الوزير مايكل ماكوي قبل اسبوعين، رفض بحجه بتاع انه this parliament is not revitalized. قال it is the executive that is revitalized and so I am answerable to the executive. عشان تشوفوا التناقضات في الحكومه بتاعت جوبا. يبقى اتفاقيه بتاعت سلام ما شمل المجلس. توت قلواك اتكلم قبل كم يوم انه الحكومات الولايات هيتم تكوينها وانه البرلمان هيتم اعاده تكوينه، لكن الكلام ده لحد هسه ما حصل. الترتيبات الامنيه في جيش كده جابوه في التلفزيون انه ده جيش اللي هيكون القوه المشتركه، وجابوا مدام انجلينا الوزير بتاع الدفاع قدام الجيش ده بيتكلم معاهم بيديم خطاب. الجيش ده لسه ما تم اعادته للان. الانشقاقات حاصل ذاته في الاي او بتاع الدكتور رياض مشاركين. كويس؟ اذا implementation بتاع peace agreement ما ماشي لقدام. خليك من ده. في حاجه اسمه political will يا جماعه for the implementation of peace agreement ما في. يعني الرئيس الفقير ما عنده الاراده السياسيه الكامله لتنفيذ اتفاقيه سلام. If there is something called implementation of peace agreement in Juba, then that implementation is a selective implementation. It is not a whole implementation. وselective implementation ده ما بودي اتفاقية بتاع سلام لأي مهل. يعني الفقير is using the tactics. President Kiir and his SPLM ولا whoever is with him لأنه SPLM ذات بيجا ما موجود. President Kiir and whoever is around him are using the old tactics of the National Congress Party of selective implementation of peace agreement. This is what is happening. عشان كده زول politician كبير زي عمنا ألدو جولا من يجي هنا ويقول لنا إنه في peace agreement ماشي and you have to support it. هو لازم يضع في الاعتبار الحاجات اللي احنا قاعدين نقوله ده. بعد كده يجي يقول لنا انتوا you support the agreement. ان احنا لما نقول انه agreement ما ماشي لاي مهم، بنقول يا جماعه على حقائق واضحه، ما عشان دايرين نجادل اي زول. These are facts. وهم في الوثيقه بتاعهم قالوا the revitalized agreement on conflict resolution in South Sudan, the 2018 arses, God is far worse than the 2015 arses.
Yes.
Yes, arses. هم ما قالوا كلام ده. I think this statement was based on what? Based on evaluation. They have evaluated the process of the implementation of peace agreement, and they reached the conclusion that the 2018 revitalized agreement is far worse than the 2015 agreement. Now he contradicted the statement, their own very statement. أنا داير الناس اللي بيشاهدوا الفيديو يحكموا كويس. الحكاية ما جدل كويس. فيا جماعة concerning agreement is going nowhere. agreement ده ما ماشي لأي محل، وكلنا قاعدين هنشوفه. ده فيما يتعلق بagreement. فيما يتعلق ب JCE, Jiang Council of Elders, who قال we are not responsible for Jiang. هو ما responsible لجيم كويس. يا جونكور والمشاهدين, I want all of you to go to SBS Dinka Radio of Australia. There is a man in Australia who is running that radio. The man is called Ajag Denchenko. Ajag Denchenko interviewed Aldo Ajo. I think that was in 2016 or 17.
2017, yeah.
And Aldo Ajo himself said that we are protecting the interests of Jiang. He made it there. Go back to the website, you will get that one.
Yeah.
He said we are protecting the interests of Jiang. Today he's telling us that we are not responsible for Jiang. Now you can judge. بدون ما أنا أعلق أكثر يا مشاهدين احكموا براكم. زول عمل له معه حوار في راديو بتاع SBS اللي بيتكلم بلغة الدينكا في أستراليا. قال ان احنا بنحمي مصالح بتاع الدينكا، وهسه هو بيقول ان احنا ما مسؤولين عن دينكا. ده كوم براو. الكوم الثاني المجلس ده عاملينه باسم بتاع الكوميونتي اسمه Jiang Council of Elders. Third, if they are not responsible او لو ما عندهم connection مع الكوميونتي، ما ده ذاته يا جماعه الكلام اللي احنا قاعدين نقوله انه ناسنا الكبار زي الدو اجو وزي ناس جوشوا داو وغيرهم، we know that they are a political lobby يا جماعه. ده كلام واضح. مع ان ده سياسيين قدام. they are a political lobby. المشكله وين؟ المشكله انهم دخلوا المجتمع في السياسه. يعني they form a political body in the name of the community. وهم بقى يمارسوا التاثير عبر الجسم السياسي على الرئيس. والكلام ده ما صح. لانه البلد اللي اسمه جنوب السودان ده ما بلد بتاع دينكا براما. and هنا we know this. في ناس ثانيين قاعدين. عشان كده ما في جسم اجتماعي يعني يكون حكومه بتاعت ظل او يكون the de facto government. ما يكون كده. ما في حكومه بتاعت البلد كله. وده الكلام اللي احنا قاعدين نرفضه. ان احنا ما بنرفضه عشان احنا قاعدين نعارض مجتمع بتاعنا. لانه يا جونكور في حاجه انا بدي اقول لك. يعني انت لما يشوفوك انت قاعد تتكلم في قضايا سياسيه وتنتقد يعني JCE وانت الدنكاوي، الناس طوالي بياخدين زول ده ضد الكوميونتي. لكن يا جماعه ما كده. ما البلد ما حق الدنكا. Republic of South Sudan ده دنكا جزء من البلد، لكن ما يهم يا بلد. This must be said and it must be made clear. الالدرز ديل خلوا المجتمع بتاع الدنكا يكون مكروه من باقي المكونات بتاع جنوب السودان. السياسات حقهم خلى المجتمع بتاع الدنكا يكون مكروه. ونحن قاعدين نقول انه الكلام ده ما صح. Yeah, you exercise politics as politician. Leave the community far away. ده يا يجي يقول لنا I'm not fair في الموضوع ده كلام ما صح. I am fair and I will continue to be fair. أنا ما ظلمت أي زول. أنا بيجي أنا واحد من أفراد المجتمع الدينك. يعني أنا موانجام أنا من أبناء الدينك. أنا ما بنتقد المجلس ده عشان عندي كراهية تجاه المجلس. لكن أنا بقول لا المجلس ما يتصرف كحكومة. لأنه في حكومة بيلمنا كلنا كسودانيين جنوبيين في البلد اللي اسمه السودان الجنوبي. This is what we are saying. We are not blaming one side or we are not holding one side accountable. أنا لا أبرئ أحد. أنا لا أبرئ الرئيس الفقير ولا أبرئ الاس بي ال مايو برياض مشاعر. وأنا ما ببرئ يزول كلهم غلطانين. أكان قتلوا ناس، أكان سرقوا الناس، أكان تشريد بتاع الناس شردوا البلد، أكان فساد هم عملوه، كلهم الاثنين all collectively SPLM كله. كويس؟ ال SPLM القاعدين في سلطة وال SPLM اللي انشقوا كونوا لهم أي أسماء أخرى يعني. To be clear يعني. كويس؟ فده الحاجات اللي لازم يقولوا. فدل تناقضات هنا وبعد كده الناس يقدر يحكموا. احنا كنا متوقعين زول زي عمنا الدو جو يجي ويرد على الاسئله بتاعتنا كله. او على الاسئله اللي انت كنت قاعد تطرحه كله. حتى لو في سؤال ما عاجبه يردوا بطريقه دبلوماسيه. هو ما زول سياسي قديم يعني. هنا هو جدنا يعني. مش نقول انكل زاد هو جدنا يعني وادي ده. هو جدنا. كويس؟ ونحن بمثابه اولاده يعني مفترض هو يكلمنا بحكمه بتاع الكبار. لكن هو كان قش في سبورت بتاع الحكومه ورفض انه يتم انتقاد مجلس بتاع الجين. ونحن نشكر ذاته انه جاء ظهر لنا الصوره بتاعته. الصوره ده جاء اظهر لنا هنا في المنتدى كده المشاهدين بيقدروا بيحكموا انه هو ما داير شنو؟ ما داير المجلس ينتقدوه. وهو جاي اصلا عشان يجي يقول يو سبورت اجريمنت سبورت سلفاكير ويجي يقول لك انت ريبل. يجي يقول لك انت ريبل. ما في جنوب السودان لما تقول حقائق you will be called rebel. They will give you a name rebel. يا اخي اذا كان انتقاد بتاع حكومه بخلي الناس rebel خلاص I have accepted I'm a rebel. يا اخي we are خلاص قلنا نحن rebels ما في مشكله. لكن we are rebel for a cause. ما في cause يا جماعه. بعدين منو كان ما rebel يعني بريزيدنت كير one time was a rebel يعني. What is wrong with rebellion if there is a just cause? Dr. John Garang was a rebel يعني. Joseph Lago was a rebel. Saturnino Lohore was a rebel. Agri Jaden was a rebel. What is wrong with rebellion if there is a just cause? And then we are not rebels بالصورة المعروفة. نحن ما شايلين سلاح. and نحن قاعدين نتكلم بخشمنا. لو they are rebellion خلاص نحن قبل له we are ideological rebels.
Absolutely.
جونكور عشان نختم ندي أقود فرصة.
ده ندي أقود فرصة قبل ما نختم. ندي فرصة.
جدي ألدو أجودة. ده الشخصية أنا بعرف كويس. نوريه خلفية بس. أنا في 2012 و2013 كنت قاعد أمشي برلمان لأن أنا شغال صحفي في الجريدة بتاعت المصير الزمن ده. أنا قبل كده عملت معه انترفيو. الانترفيو بتاعتي معه كان حول الثورة بتاعت توريد 18 أغسطس. الذكرى كانت ذكرى اللي كانوا 55 كده بتاعت الميوتني. كويس؟ أنا سألته يعني أنا بعرفه كويس. كنت بلقاه في البرلمان. كويس؟ وأنا عملت معه مقابلات صحفية. أخذت منه تصريحات. فالموضوع بتاع إنه هو حساس ده إنه هو بيتعقد من بعض الأسئلة ده الشيء أنا بعرفه من زمن ده. كويس؟ هو لو بيشاهد اللايف هيتذكر إنه أنا قعدت معه في البرلمان أنا انترفيو هيم وأنا سجلت كلامه يعني. كويس؟ أنا أنا لما سمعت إنه جدا ألدو أجو هو جاي يعملوا انترفيو I knew إنه he would dodge asking some questions لأن أنا بعرفه من الزمن ده كويس. فده على مستوى شخصي يعني على المستوى بتاع احتكاكي معه في البرلمان لأن أنا كنت موزع في البرلمان وبعمل تغطيات في البرلمان للجلسات بتاع البرلمان. فالمهم خلينا أجيب هنا شوية وندي أقوى فرصة عشان يقول كلامه وأنا هرجع تاني.
Thank you, Sir Dengdi Ayok, for great presentation. A good wine. A good wine.
Dengdi is fair, man. You're not fair to your grandfather. You need to be fair, brother. You need to be fair.
Go ahead. I'm listening to you.
We always say in our forum, we agreed.
Not to the grandfather. You have to say that I'm not fair for Jian Council because I'm not talking about Aldo. I talk about the Jian Council. Go ahead.
That's good. That's fair enough.
So we agree to disagree.
Oh
so
yeah.
Why do you think all this dilemma now on our show? Because we were hoping that Dr. Aldo Ajodeng to answer all questions fully, but he threatened me to leave if I continue.
Well, John Gore, let me say hello to you and all the audience. Comrade Deng, Manuel came a while ago, and Dr. Yo, and also Dr. Yo. Dr. Yo actually has spoken very well. You're supposed to give him, a reasonable doubt, Jonkor, because he told you that he wants you to support the peace that has been signed. And he told you that, whatever has happened in the past, people have to forget, and now we have to come in and condone with this peace because there is a reason for that. And you're supposed to understand that, but you just went on and you, and also actually it was fair to you when you called you a rebel because, you have to accept you are a dissident. To me, you are a dissident, okay? So your dissidency, should not be, you can't deny it. You have to accept because you against the government. At the same time, you're supposed to bring that.
You can call me an opposition, but you can rebel are not holding guns.
You are a dissident. You are a dissident. Also, you're supposed to bring Dr. Riek Machar and interview him as well. What doctors?
You cannot call somebody. How many times I call government officials to come here and they always refuse, and they always rubbish. Even President Kiir himself. It was asked by Peter Berg of BBC about the social media South Sudanese across all over the world, and he said they are rubbish.
Dr. Aldo Ajo has spoken his heart. Actually, I don't think that has we believe for this. JC at the same time, JC has no role in the government of the Republic of South Sudan, and I agree with Deng for one point because the SPLM Deng SPLM party is the one who is guilty. Because if the SPLM has put its house in order and followed the procedures based on the principle of the liberation struggle, so I looked at Mahemia Jonkor from the Dr. Joe. This peace, September 12, 2018, must be followed correctly and it must be implemented. And people have to go to the election, and it has to start right now to mobilization. And your forum is good for it because you have more than 500 to 700 people as we speak now. Your message, could resonate to the heart of people of South Sudan because our problem it becomes the political issue, and this political has transpired to become a tribal mentality, and foreign interest is using it. Because if you look at South Sudan, South Sudan is one of the richest country in African continent. And with this, rhetoric that we have, with this division we have, South Sudan could fallen, like Congo Democratic, easily without question, my brother. So Dr. Aldo was correct on following the peace implementation. And we, we the people of South Sudan, regardless whether you are from JCE or from other Bahari or Nuer, it doesn't matter. As long as we are 64 tribe, we have to support the September 12, 2018 peace agreement because it was an African. You need to understand this. It was an pure African peace. It has no link with with Traker because Traker was the 2015. But when the 2015 fall apart in 2016, there's no longer Traker peace of Sudan. Become AU and EGAT. They were the one who funded it. And President Museveni and President Bashir is no longer now empowered, but Hamdok is following that thing. They are the one who are monitoring this peace. And that's why it's very important because if we cannot follow the peace until the election, it is very difficult to remove from Salva Kiir Mayardit and Dr. Riek Machar, because these two brothers, they are from the SPLM, and they understood, the hierarchy, ladder, and also they know the mentality of Junubin, because now we are dividing based on our tribal, minds, and now we are getting stuck here, become stagnant to get out from here. JCE, since they were established, actually they have done a good quite, a few, because they
Moses.
stopped the dengue retaliatory retaliation against other tribes. We have to say thank you for that, But if they said that, the peace in South Sudan is not working well, and they want to work with the South Sudanese people, because you can hold them accountable, my brother, So the past belongs to the past. Let us try to open a new page. The new page is to support the implementation. If there are missing link in the implementation of peace, we have to say no. Raise Pakir and Riek Machar and others parties involved. You must implement this peace. Yes.
What does it hurt? Now I'm listening to you. You disagree with me, and
Yeah.
and we always made it clear we agree to disagree. Why is it so bitter to listen to other person point of view?
Well, I think you have to listen, but I cannot speak on that. But what I understood from him, it was very clear. The only choice we have, the chance we have left, is to support this peace agreement. If we cannot support this peace agreement, and it just leave us, if something happen, God forbid, as we speak today, South Sudan peace will never return, and violence will erupt. Also, you look at Sudan. What is happening in Sudan is chaotic. Now because of American president, again, they stopped the support to Saudi Arabia. There's been no more war in Yemen, and people of Al-Martazak of Khartoum, they were fighting in Yemen. They are going back to Sudan. There is a hell. There is a hell to pay for this. So let us try to listen to Dr. Aldo. His message was very clear. Let's support the peace, September 12, 2018 peace agreement. That's the only chance to take out Salva Kiir Mayardit, Mariang Machar, and also who's going to decide will be the parties, because even the recommendation come from the grassroots, they cannot remove from Salva Kiir Mariang Machar, because these people, they are there by, you cannot have peace in South Sudan without Salva Kiir Mariang Machar, because they are the signatory to the September 12, 2018 recommendation from the grassroots is good. But also the government of South Sudan should be afraid. So, you know what, a government, you go and talk to the grassroots, tell them that the reason why you are here, there is what we call September 12, 2018 peace agreement, because they don't understand it. So listen, I heard your voice. I heard
So now, what you are dismissing national dialogue completely then?
No, I'm not dismissing it, but people of grassroots also need to be advised. Yes,
when you say, oh, the only solution, the only one that can keep South Sudan safe and peaceful is for Kir Mayar and Riek Machar. So whatever comes from grassroots, from people, should be dismissed. That's what you're saying.
No. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is that grassroots also, they are missing a point. Their recommendation is understood by us, Junubin, but their message is not clear to Rais Al-Fakir and to Riek Machar.
They said why? They have to go. It's clear. They said they have to go.
Well,
they have to exit political life.
That's correct, but how and when? How and when?
Now,
because these two guys, they are here because they are signatories to the September 12, 2018 revitalization of 2015. To remove them, you need to wait until the peace that they have signed expires.
Peace agreement is failing. It's not being implemented.
It's failing to you, but it's not failing in South Sudan.
It's failing to grassroots. The grassroots, they said that it's failing. That's why they gotta go.
Mamikila Yonkor, Koya per Manatik Jamadol, the rural areas, they need to understand. You can say Salva Kiir has to go now or Riek Machar, but there is a peace call has been signed. A peace that I'm signed, the only way is to expire. When it expires, there is a mandate for the election. And that election, the grassroots should target it. The grassroots should mobilize and look for people that they will bring in to the governorship, to the house, to the national representative in Juba, and also the state MPs. Those are the ones that will come and rise their that will also force the national government to bring those who are suspected of crime committed against South Sudan from 2005 until 2013. No one will escape justice in South Sudan. So, but the only way to work is to support this peace.
Okay, thank you.
And for this piece, Dr. Aldo is right. So, but if you go and if you question him directly like that, and you accuse Ging as a part of, they participated in the war of South Sudan, that's not right, because now everybody will be subject to be investigated, including Riek Machar, and then the peace go away.
My brother, young kinds of elders, you cannot deny they were political incubator. They were incubated to Salva Kiir.
No, my John Kor Kalam is an accusation. When you're accused and you have no evidence, to back up your claim.
He said that we were protecting Salva Kiir then.
Well, he said, but what he said, he can deny it, because he's a politician. You can say it and you can deny it. That's politics, my brother. Politics is a sign. You can say anything here, and later on I can justify what I was saying. So don't hold him on what he said, But JCE are not responsible for anything in South Sudan, like the other, elders as well. The only responsible is the SPLM.
Good, thank you.
The SPLM party and other parties in South Sudan are responsible because they are the government, not the JCE or Council of Nuer or Council of Bari. No, SPLM party is responsible with other parties who are in power. So Sudan's solution is the election.
Okay,
election will take us out. Other than that, my brother, confrontation will never put to an end. Will never put war to an end, and you embolden.
This is not a confrontation of what? This is not a confrontation. We are instating the fact.
People. No, I'm not saying you. I don't say you. Young Kor, your job is a media guy. And actually you did a good job. Because even though your views are different than someone in Juba, but also the reason why you have supporters, you have people who can follow you because they like something from you. And also even me, I like something from you. But
it's because we are fair. It's because we are fair to the people of South Sudan.
It's not about fair. What you say. What you saying here, it's not going to work today, but it might work later on, So, my brother, I want to say thank you. Don't crucify your uncle, is that Dr. Aldo. He hasn't done anything wrong. Those who have committed crime, they are now in power here in South Sudan. They are ruling, they are in power now, they are sleeping in a hotel, they are riding B8. So, Dr. Aldo and the JC, they are innocent. They have been accused for business, accusation as no evidence to bring them even to a hearing. So with this, I will say, may God the Creator bless the fellow of South Sudan, peace be to all. Then be fair, man, to Dr. Aldo.
Okay, good. Thank you. Let me give chance to Moses.
Hi, Moses. See Moses. Take care, brother.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, then did you
Dr. Ajo said I was not fair for the council.
For the JCE? For the JCE or for the country?
But all what I said was based on reality. Up to now, you cannot come up to refute one point from all the points I said, including Dr. Ajo himself. He cannot refute a single point from what I said in our last show, because all what I said is concrete and based on evidence, based on the documents, based on the practices that took place on the ground. So this issue of me being not fair, I think is not logical. And Mr. Mading Manil has already explained it, that this one is an incitement. He's trying to incite the public against the personnel of Dengi Dayo, and this is not acceptable.
I disagree.
He would like to draw the attentions of all James now against me, which is not acceptable.
No, then I don't think so. I don't think that there is anything to do in such like you said. No, then South Sudan has a long way to go, my brother. He has a long way to go. What do we need to do? I'm not gonna dispute anything here. We need to ensure that election has to take place. And John Con is being carried here to start to talk about election, my brother. Election and unity of South Sudan.
There will be no election in South Sudan, my dear brother, as long as Kir and Riek are there.
No true election will take place in South Sudan.
Yeah.
South Sudan is now, look here. By this coming July, South Sudan will be 10 years old since independence.
True.
And since independence, no elections. It was written in the Constitution, the 2011 Constitution, that elections were supposed to be held in 2015.
Right.
But before 2015, what happened? The SPLM took the country to war. And so the election was adjourned.
But
all right? Now the term of the president came to an end. The term expired, and then he had to resort to the parliament to extend his term in office.
You know,
so the term of the president is in the office is either extended by the parliament or by the agreement that he signs with the opposition. And this is how President Kiir survived for 10 years since the independence of South Sudan. Now, I'm coming to the point of elections. If elections are organized, Museveni of Uganda proposed this, that the problem of South Sudan would be solved by election. But Museveni is another dictator. Now, if elections are organized in South Sudan, this election will not be free, first of all. They will not be fair, and they will not be credible. Because there will be intimidation, there will be rigging, there will be a lot of things that will happen against those who would like to challenge the president. So this game of elections is a well-known game. The results are known right from now. And in the National Dialogue document, which Aldo Ajo refused, he said that the document was brought to them, but they refused it. It is spelled out clearly that any election in which President Salva Kiir Mayardit and First Vice President Riek Machar takes place in, that election will result into violence and bloodshed in the country. So politically, the ground is not yet prepared currently in South Sudan for free and fair election to happen. So in order for South Sudan to ignite free, fair, and credible election, these two gentlemen must go so that South Sudanese can now go to vote for the first time in history and elect a president. Thank you.
Let me respond so I can get out here. So I can
30 seconds, because we gotta go. We
are dominating the show. There is Moses. I see Moses here.
Yeah, I'm leaving now.
Moses should come in.
Yeah, let me respond to you. Dengit, you've been in South Sudan. You've been a journalist with Ngorgrang Aror. The reason why there is no election in 2015, 2 years after the independence, South Sudan slid into the war. And before even they went to the war, this war of 2013 has been imposed for too long, a long time, because the INF-NCP, Muslim Brotherhood, which actually Dr. Aldo mentioned a while ago, about the radicalism in Khartoum. Those ones, they played a big role to prevent South Sudan from going into a peaceful state until the election. So I don't think that there is a blame to the Reis Salva Kiir, even to Riek Machar. Even the SPLM, I don't think I can blame them, because we have a miscalculation. The SPLM party that we knew in the bush of Dr. Jongarang is not the SPLM party now in power. Because
who is to be blamed for taking the country to war? Is it not the SPLM? You agree with me right from the beginning in this point.
I agree with you.
Your problem is that you are politically intransigent. I said this previously, and I'm now repeating it. You don't accept facts.
No, I accept facts, but I know the reality. There is I can accept facts because I know the reality. So Sudan government did not refuse to go to election because we've been cornered in, because the failure of our system to to make sure that those who would have arrested a long time ago before the 2013, they were allowed to roll around. So that's the problem. So at the end of the day, we have to unite. We have to support the peace implementation, and we have to go to the election. If you don't believe in the election, there is no alternative. There's no alternative whatsoever. No alternative, brother.
Listen to me.
The opposition.
Listen to me. Look here. Your message has. I got your message. You told us let us support the agreement. My response is that the agreement is going nowhere.
It's failing.
There is no agreement.
Well, if there's
you are talking about election, no elections.
Okay, if there is no election.
All right. You are telling me SPLM is not wrong. SPLM is wrong. And SPLM will continue to be wrong till the end of the world. Listen to me here. Listen. Listen to me. You are telling us that President Kiir must stay. This means that the status quo in the country has to continue. So you are supporting chaos. You are supporting destruction. Let us stand together for change.
So what is the alternative?
How long will you stay in the United States of America? I see your daughter behind you. How long will that little daughter continue to be in the United States because there is political chaos in the country? Don't support chaos.
Dang it. What is the alternative now? You know, if you cannot support the peace implementation and the election, so
the alternative is change. We are very clear on this forum. We are very clear. A new political down
must go. President Kiir must go.
Yeah.
How?
And you know,
President Kiir and Riek Machar, two of them.
Yep.
So with that, welcome, Ustaz. I welcome you. Yeah, welcome, Moses. As we speak, Intertaman, you listen to all the interview, the full interview. They are denying here. Agwet came now and denying, and Dr. Eldo Ajo also denied that. Mafi Kalam did it. And the document that I have, they are saying that is not true. But actually, we have the true document. As I read, this is what he refused me to read, and I was going to read this, which is it said on the National Dialogue final report, the resolution said, we also believe that any
John Core, I will leave the show and maybe I will be back. Continue with Moses and I'm
Sure. So I can this before you make your analysis, Ustaz Moses. We also believe that the success of any election in South Sudan will hinge on non-participation of President Salva Kiir Mayardit and Dr. Riek Machar. The Kalam the National Dialogue. And also, Namateji the Kalam ta grassroots. Okay? Grassroots bugul shunu. Galek the grassroots demand for President Salva Kiir and Dr. Riek Machar. The people of South Sudan at the grassroots deeply aware of the leadership failure and the political deadlock which has dogged this country for a long time. So they demand that both President Salva Kiir and Dr. Riek Machar must leave the politics if South Sudan is to move forward. So all these things, we did not bring them from nowhere. They just came from National Dialogue. And tonight, Uncle Dr. Aldo Ajo is denying this. And he threatened me that he's going to leave if I keep continuing to talk about the JCE. And as you know, seriously, thank you, Dr. Ustaz Dengit. I was trying to be diplomatic enough because I just don't want to ruin it to the people of South Sudan, you know. So I want to give you an opportunity to go ahead with your perspective, and then I'll bring Meding Maniel as well here because I see he's just come back. Go ahead.
Well, Ustaz Jonkor Mayor, I greet you and I thank you so much for bringing the spokesperson of Gen Council of Elders. I greet you, Abdallah, and
thank you.
All the speakers that have spoken before me, including Meding Wadamaniel and other people, plus Dengdit, Ayok. And I greet all our viewers of concerned citizens of South Sudan. I really appreciate what you have done, Jonkor, to invite Dr. Aldo Ajo Dengakwe. Whether we disagree or agree, there is a substance. That's why in our discussion, that's why he accepted to come. But let me tell the truth to our citizens who are listening, the concerned citizens, the nationalists, people who love South Sudan. People of South Sudan, the ordinary citizens, whether back home or in diaspora, people who are loyal to the land of South Sudan and the people of South Sudan, but not loyal to the individuals in Kiir government or Riek Machar, SPLM-IO. This is the truth. I want to mention two things before I talk about what Dr. Aldo Ajo said, Young Council of Elders, and the peace agreements, and the role of the government. First of all, Jonkor, we all know that you cannot bite the hand that feeds you.
Correct.
Yan jana laman umo yakulu laman yadiu. It's hard.
Obi Abdi Shaturumu just making joking with his mother, just trying to play. But he
it's a joke. ما بيعديه شديد كده. لأنه عارف ده مشكلة ممكن it can affect him or her. So you cannot buy it the hands that feeds you. Young Council of Elders cannot buy it President Kiir government too hard. لأنه نازل في بلو هاوس وجوان ممكن يقطع أكليش بتاع الجماعة دي زي ما بقول المصريين. This is the fact. What has changed, what has brought contradiction in Jain Council of Elders? I've been listening to their interviews, Radio Mariah, and their talks here. What has brought contradiction are two things. One, you cannot buy it, the hand that feeds you. The government of President Kiir is giving them money all these years, is paying rent for them, is giving them medical assistance, healthcare that the citizen don't get. Their kids are being employed as deputy ministers at national level, and their relatives are ambassadors. So they got their interest. They have exploited the weakness of President Kiir since 2013 up to now. They want to exit. Second, on Tuesday, they were summoned in the national security in the Blue House. So عشان تفهموا يا جنوبين ليه نازل بخيروا كلامهم. أول حاجة مستفيدين من حكومة بتاع كير في ناية بتاع قروش وناية بتاع employment لأولادهم and their relatives. And then they were also summoned in national security. I have never found this in most countries here in the West, for example, or in other African countries like South Africa. Somebody that is a member of parliament, national member of parliament. Dr. Aljo is a member of Council of State.
Yeah.
It is like a Senate. In Australia here, we have lower house, which is the House of Representatives, and we have upper house, which is Senate. So, but they are all members of parliament. They are all respected. They have immunity given to them in the constitution. You cannot summon a member of national parliament as a national security or a police. So they were humiliated on Tuesday last week by Kolkor and President Kiir. They were summoned and they went. What happened there has changed what they have written. What has happened in Blue House has changed their conversation. So people of South Sudan, you have to understand that this Jain Council of Elders, as John Kore said, and I have listened to Ajak Chanko interview with Aldo Ajo when he was saying that they are protecting the interests of Dinka or Jiang. You can see how these people are saying one thing in a paper, and now after being threatened by the national security, they have changed their conversation, running away from what they have signed. So let me make that clear, that they have been given money to go back to their old position and to relax from attacking President Kiir government. Because President Kiir has told them, you people are going to divide Dinka. When President Kiir has already forgotten that he was the one who has divided the whole country, let alone the Dinka people. So let me go back to 3 points that I have said. But الناس لازم يفهموا إنه يوم 3 الفات national security قال للناس ديل, you guys have to shut up. Shut up, otherwise we will deal with you accordingly. And you know, sujun tajuba mas the sujun cover ta albodo fogo Turabi. Turabi can enjoy magazines and newspapers and watch TV, but sujun beta Blue House lo weded Uncle Aldo there all these young council of elders, they will not survive. So they have to reverse the gear and change their position. Now, this is what I said last time. We are discussing what they have written, as Dengdita said. We are talking about the evidence. And this is what they said in their letter. Young Council, I'm talking about Young Council of Elders before I talk about the Revitalized Peace Agreement and the role of the government, and give a chance to my brother Abdullah and
Yeah, because
Madin Wado.
Abdullah actually has to go to work. I want to give him a chance, but go ahead. Speed it up a little bit. Yeah.
So Madin Wado, I greet you. Thank you for your discussion this morning. Let me talk about Young Council of Elders. They have said, this is what they have signed. The failure of Revitalized Peace Agreement should not be attributed to Young Council of Elders, but to the political parties, which is the SPLM in government and the SPLM in opposition, Dr. Riak and President Kiir. So this is what they are saying. They know that peace agreement is going to fail. That's what they told the people of South Sudan. You cannot come here today and tell us support peace that you know that is going to fail.
And it has
and
failed.
You are saying, you are telling us here in your paper that you are moving away from your old position, your old political stance, because you don't want to be blamed as Young Council of Elders as the one influencing Kiir or President Kiir not to implement the Revitalized Peace Agreement. If they did not know that peace is not working, is not being implemented, why would they say that we have changed our position because we don't want to be blamed for the failure of the peace agreement? And the same people are coming and telling us support the peace agreement when they are running away from the peace agreement. If you are supporting the peace agreement, stand with Kiir as you have been standing with them, and tell President Kiir to implement the outstanding chapters, especially the unification of the army has not been done. Support Kiir, tell him, if you have influence, as Young Council has influence over President Kiir political decisions, they should tell President Kiir, we need a new constitution that guarantee territorial federalism and mixed federalism in South Sudan, not tribal or ethnic federalism such as what we have in what is in Ethiopia. So they should tell President Kiir that you have to implement the transitional justice that is in chapter 5, page 62 in the Revitalized Peace Agreement. But since they have run away from telling President Kiir to implement the peace agreement, and they are coming to tell us support the peace agreement when they have access to President Kiir, the man, the dictator, the killer, the public looter, the manipulator, the traitor. They are leaving President Kiir and coming here and telling the people who have no access to President Kiir to support peace. This is actually very disappointing. So they are contradicting themselves, and I have listened to my brother Madin Wada. He has explained many other points of contradiction. But my first point is the fact that they wrote the letter because they knew that the peace is not being implemented. So there is no way you know something is dead and you tell people support a dead that agreement. This is what I can tell my people, people of South Sudan.
Thank you. Thank you.
We are tired of SPLM of President Kiir and SPLM of Dr. Riak. They want to rule the country through political agreements instead of a constitution. There is no, this is what dictators do. They replace the national constitution with the political agreements. And these political agreements are reached when these two parties fight themselves. And they are the one who create the war, and they are the one who come up with the agreement. So the agreement of 2015 and the agreement of 2018, they have replaced the constitution. But now, is the agreement working?
It's not.
It's not working.
So Moses, let's come back to that. Let's come back to that. Let me give Abdullah Garang a chance here, and then we will come back to that because he's gotta go. He gotta go to work, and we will continue, inshallah. Don't go away. But Abdullah Garang, welcome the concerned citizen of South Sudan, and I welcome you, my dear brother Meding Maniel, one more time, and we continue, making this discussion. It is ميت كل الحوار يا أستاذ عبد الله قرن. أنا داير أسمع perspective بتاعك من جانب ده. اتفضل.
شكرا الأخ جنكور مايول والإخوة في الاستديو موسيس مكير والأخ مدين منيل وكل المشاهدين بتاع Concerned Citizen of South Sudan أينما كنتم. أنا في الحقيقة يعني أكون معك صريح، أنا a little bit confused لأنه الآن قرأت في final report بتاع National Dialogue والمذكرة بتاع Jain Council of Elders and what Uncle Aldo Joe Deng said are not matching. ما متفقين في تناقض شوية. أنا شوية كده يعني confused بالذات في النقطة اللي أنكل ألدو أنت سألته هو قال لك يا أخي people on the grassroots are appealing President Kiir and his vice president to leave, to exit politics. لكن هو قال لك ده كلام بتاع روت grassroots يعني جاي من الكوميونتي، لكن السكرتارية ما كتب الكلام ده في final report. Why you are denying الكلام الجاي من grassroots؟ انتوا لما مشيتوا شاورتوهم why you are denying that? You supposed to put it and set it clear to Mr. President.
It is already in. لأنه قاعد جوا.
لكن هو نفى الكلام ده وقال يا أخي الكلام ده ما موجود، السكرتارية ما وضعوه في final report. أنا شخصيا أنا بقول أنكل ألدو جو أنا من الناس القروا هذه الوثيقة final report أنا وجدت أقوى من اتفاقية السلام الموقع.
نعم.
وكنا بننادي بأن هذا الريبورت أو هذا التقرير الجاي من الولايات الجاي من كل الأقاليم الجاي من المواطن قد يكون المخرج الأخير لنا نحن في جنوب السودان عشان الدولة يمشي لقدام to move forward. لأنه الآن السيستم is failed many years we are not doing nothing is going well in South Sudan. ناسنا كلهم موجودين في refugees camp كويس يعني everything is messed up. الآن الأمل الوحيد الحوار الوطني اللي قعدوا فيها بكم سنة. Uncle Aldo Joe he knows this. How many years you've been doing this? كم سنة؟ في النهاية القرار بتاع المواطن إنه لازم يكون that is the way, the best way. So now سؤالي لأنكل جو هو بيتكلم عن تنفيذ اتفاق السلام لكن وينو السلام؟ أنا كمواطن بتاع جنوب السودان أنا ما شايف في أي بروجرس في اتفاقية السلام. الآن الناس بتنادي من أجل تنفيذها في تناقضات. يعني لحد قبل أسبوع المضت نائب الرئيس رياض مشار اللي هو وقع السلام هو حبيس ما قادر يمشي للوغو القريب ده، ما قادر يمشي للوغو، ما قادر يطلع 40 كيلو من جوبا. كيف يتم اتفاق السلام وما قادر يمشي قنبة، ما قادر يمشي ولايات عشان يعمل يعني موبلايزيشن الناس يقول لهم ان احنا السلام جاوا ان احنا ماشيين في طرق كويس، ما قادر يمشي. فكيف يتم تنفيذ هذه الاتفاقية؟ ده السؤال هنا. أنا كمواطن بشوف إنه هذه الاتفاقية متأخرة جدا جدا. الترتيبات الأمنية ما في تطوير، الحكومة مع الاي او ما منسجمين، هنالك تناقضات ونحن خايفين نمشي بهذا المنوال ويحصل لنا الحصل في 2013. ده اللي نحن خايفين منه. إذا لابد من مخرج، لابد من مخرج. أنكل ألدو جو لابد من مخرج، وأنتم مشيتوا كويس، لكن هنالك تناقضات، وانا ما مبسوط من اللقاء بتاع انكل الدو، لانه هو حاول انه يدافع عن جين كونسل اوف إلدرز. انا بتفق معه في نقطه واحد بس، and that is my view، انه الاحداث بتاعت 2013 سببها ما جين كونسل اوف إلدرز. انا متفق معه في ده تماما، كويس، لانه السبب الاساسي داخل الحوش الكبير بتاع الحركه الشعبيه لتحرير السودان. الان هو بيتكلم عن تنفيذ الاتفاقيه، لكن انا بقول انكل الدو جو دينا كوي ما في اي تطوير في هذه الاتفاقيه حتى الان، ونحن ما دايرين نمشي وتاني نرجع للخطوه بتاعت 2013 عشان تاني ما نهجر اكثر من 2 مليون مواطن، عشان تاني المواطنين اللي فضلوا الان الموجودين في جنوب السودان ما يمشوا لدول الجوار. اذا لابد من مخرج، وانتم كونوا شجعان وقولوا يا اخي الحوار الوطني اللي نحن كتبناه ده نحن كتبناه، وده الفاينل ريبورت and we are going to لازم نعمل له تنفيذ. بعد ذلك سالنا نحن كشباب دورنا شنو؟ انا اتوقعت من انكل الدو جو يسال دور الشباب هو شنو عشان نحن نقدر نساعده. نحن بنحترمهم، نحن عارفين انهم الناس انهم خبره طويله في العمل السياسي، لكن الان هنالك تناقضات ما مفهومه بالنسبه لاي زول شاهد هذا الفيديو. وانا شخصيا I lost some hope because انا كنت فاكر انه الاتفاق الفاينل ريبورت كويس ده الوثيقه الاخيره وفيها امضاء انكل الدو كويس، لكن هنالك تناقضات. فالمواطن حيران كويس what we can do. ما هو المخرج؟ انا برجع الميكروفون للاخ موسيس مكير مدين منيل. ما هو المخرج؟ لانه كل شيء يعني is messed up in South Sudan. نحن كابناء جنوب السودان سواء كنا في المهجر سواء كنا داخل جنوب السودان، بعدنا لا يمنعنا ان نشارك. كنا في جنوب السودان، كنا في جنوب السودان 2013 انا كنت موجود، وشاركنا في كل اتفاقية السلام تم تنفيذه في تم توقيعه في 2005. نحن كنا موجودين، لكن بعدنا لا يعني انه ما نشارك، ونحن ما ريبو. نحن دايرين مصلحة بتاعت مواطن في جنوب السودان. انا داير المواطن في مجان باي يتوفر له ابسط الاشياء، حقنه بتاعت ملاريا وشوال عيش ما متوفر. الان في مجاعه، الناس بتهاجر من مناطقها كويس، بترجع الشمال بعد ما رجعت في 2011 كويس. الان الناس راجعين، ده نحن خايفين منه. نحن ما خايفين انه كير يعني يكون قاعد في السلطه ولا يمشي. نحن خايفين من المواطنين القاعدين في المعسكرات، خايفين من النسيج الاجتماعي بتاع جنوب السودان اللي اتفتت الان. ده من اخطر الاشياء الناس لازم تفكر لها، مش برنامج سياسي فقط. الان جنوب السودان نحن في خطر، والمساب اللي حصلت من 2013 ما حيطلع في سنه وسنتين وثلاثه ما لم يكون هنالك حكومه قويه مسنوده من الشعب، حكومه قويه تكتب دستور، وهذا الدستور لازم أن يضمن كل حقوق المواطنين الجنوبيين وكل القبائل في جنوب السودان بالتساوي. ده المخرج اللي نحن دايرينه في جنوب السودان.
شكرا استاذ عبد الله قرن. انا داير انوه للمشاهدين يا جماعه try to have a stronger network لما تيجي او تقعد reboot your network. اصلا انا شايف brother Charles Deng he is trying really hard وبيجي هنا صورته ما ظاهر، يعني بيجي هنا وصورته ما ظاهر. مجرد ما نخد فوق مجرد ما نعمل كليك نخد فوق the live broadcast will disrupt. I am sure 100% for this, and that's why بيجي بيمشي. So Charles, go ahead and reboot your phone or computer and then send in click the link again. I hope it's going to work for you because I see that, I see that. That's the problem here. So
let him come and make his perspective.
Yeah, I want him to come. لكن لما يعمل gray لما الصورة بتاع زول ما يظهر فيه that mean that the network is very very slow and the show anytime.
Yeah, thank you. أنا بشكرك جانكور لأنه I have only 30 minutes to go to work. So
Oh.
I'm going to exit and have a great day, brother Moses McCare and Mading Miguel. You can continue. Thank you
شكرا
so much.
شكرا استاذ عبد الله قرن، اشكرك كل الشكر. انا بديك الفرصه كمان يا استاذ موزيس to continue. ولا نمشي لاستاذ مدين منيل عندنا بمشي لك ثاني يا موزيس عشان ندي مدين the last final say, and then after that we go. I saw you, Dr. Francis Malwal, but it seemed like it's gray out for you too. I hope ما نعمل كليك ويعمل لنا withdraw، ما نعمل كليك نكون في سكرين وبعد شويه هنا البرنامج يكون ما في. تفضل يا استاذ مدين منير.
شكرا جانكور، وشكرا للزملاء في الاستديو، الاخ موسس والاخ عبد الله قرن اللي هو غادر الان، والمشاهدين. انا ما عندي حاجه كثير عايز اقولها، لكن بس عايز
تفضل.
اول شيء انا اتفاق السلام نفسه هم بيقولوا people should support this peace agreement which was signed in Khartoum between AO and SPLM KD branch. أول شيء الاتفاق ده ولدوه ولادة قيصرية ومولود كسيح وفي غرفة الإعاش. فدي ثلاثة أشياء حصل.
That's Charles Deng on the screen. انتوا شايفين صورته؟
أنا ما شايفه أنا شخصيا.
يا ما في لأنه network.
I'm not seeing him was a junker.
It is blue. ما أنا قلت لكم لو أنا خدته في screen it's going to disrupt anything. Like he keep sending in, you know. Sometimes people may feel that I don't want to put them in, but it's not me. It's the network that you have. لما النتورك يكون ضعيف بيعمل disruption. Now you see his name there, but it's not working. Yeah, go ahead. Continue, مدين منير.
أنا قلت إنه الاتفاق ده كان مولود ولادة قيصرية ومولود كسيح وفي غرفة الإعاش. الآن الدكتور ألدا جو is trying us to is asking us or urging us to support this peace agreement, to support the agreement. This agreement هما في الريبورت بتاعتهم بيقولوا إنه في فشل في تطبيق اتفاق السلام. هو عايزنا نحن نقوم برضه support it. المشكلة حاليا هم بيدوروا زي ما الناس بيقولوا قميص عثماني يلبسوه على اتفاق الفشل. لو نحن قلنا لا نحن ما واقفين مع اتفاق، لو حصل شيء يقول كان في ناس بيعرضوا اتفاق. الكلام ده ما صار. نكون واضحين. تطبيق اتفاق السلام عايز a commitment and political will from these two leaders, which is Dr. Riek Machar and Rais Al-Fakir Mayadi. If there's no political will, the implementation of this peace agreement will not succeed. برضو عايز to highlight two things ودعمل خلط or confusion to our people. The agreement and the peace, these are two different things, my dear fellow citizens of South Sudan. اتفاق السلام ممكن تختلف معه، لكن سلام the peace itself is not a grant. It's not a grant from Salva Kiir or Riek Machar to the people of South Sudan. It's a fundamental rights, fundamental constitutional rights. We have to enjoy peace regardless نازل يتفقوا ولا ما يتفقوا. ده حق بتاعنا كشعب تاع جنوب السودان. ده لازم يكون واضحة للشعب تاع جنوب السودان. لو في زول عنده رأي مختلف فيما جاء في اتفاق السلام لا يعني ذلك أنا ضد peace. Peace is my right. أي زول عايز يعيش في السلام. الشيء الثاني هو نقطة مهم جدا. Dr. Aldo talk about it and some people they talk about this issue. And نحن we should support the peace agreement. How can we support peace agreement or the agreement while our people in South Sudan عايشين في سجن كبير which is called South Sudan سجن. You cannot talk. You cannot move freely. You cannot do anything. فكيف تتوقع من إنسان يعيدك أسلم لاتفاق السلام وأنت وزول قاعد في سجن يعني. You know, is a big jail. It's a big jail. أي زول هناك لشباب لناس كبار لا حتى هم السياسيين زي ما ذكر الأخ موسس they were summoned the National Security Office وحددوهم وقالوا لهم كلامات كتير جدا إنه ما يقولوا الكلام ده وده حقيقة دارين ينكروها في معلومات يعني إننا عالي يعني في معلومات what is going on. فجنوب السودان نفسه شعب جنوب السودان عايش في السجن كبير اللي هو اسمه جنوب السودان. فأنت كيف هتطبق اتفاق السلام والشعب نفسه ما عنده حرية عشان يقول رأيه. I cannot go out مثلا نمشي نقول سلبيات وإيجابيات اتفاق السلام ده. أنا حكون ضد اتفاق السلام. فأنا I'm wondering what kind of support they want from us to provide for this peace agreement to go through. لأنه if I go today أنا ما مسموح لي نعمل political rallies ولا مسموح لي أي تجمع نقدر نقول رأي، نقدر نقول إخفاقات وين ونجاحات وين اتفاق السلام. فكيف تطلب مني إنه أنا ندعم اتفاق السلام؟ أصلا ما في حريات عشان الناس يعبروا عن رأيهم عن اتفاق السلام نفسه. ففي تناقض هنا وفي كلام ما صحيح. أنا مع سلام مش مع اتفاق. اتفاق ده فيه خلل، ودي كان أصلا عبارة عن توزيع بتاعت كيك. كان عايز بترول جنوب السودان وموسيفني عايز يسيطر لوضع السياسي في جنوب السودان والأغراض التجارية ليوغندا ولمصالحه الخاص. ده حاجة معروف لأي زول يعني، ما كان اتفاق السلام أصلا لمصلحة الشعب جنوب السودان. لكن هنا وقفنا معه إنه الاتفاق ده قد يؤدي للسلام في جنوب السودان. لكن الاتفاق ده أنجز شيء واحد لهم هم، ومش للشعب بتاع جنوب السودان، لهم هم إنهم قدروا يوزعوا كيك بيناتهم. الآن قاعدين في قصر الجمهور في جيوان، ده رئيس وده نائب رئيس وخمسة نواب وغيره وحكومة شكلوا يعني. ده حد بتاعتهم هم يحكموا and they can enjoy this cake, division of this cake. لكن اتفاق السلام نفسه فشل إنه يوفر سلام اجتماعي في البلد، فشل يوفر أمن في البلد، ونحن شايفين الآن ما زي يدور في البلد. في واحد من المتحدثين before قال كلام and is a very strange logic من جانب بتاعتي. أنا never ever سمعت اللوجيك بهذه الطريقة، إنه الدكتور ياك وسلفكير لما نطالبوا بهم إنه يتنحوا عن السياسة هم الناس وقعوا لاتفاق السلام.
good.
يعني اتفاق السلام ده بتاع أفراد والاتفاق السلام ده بين warring parties. warring parties organization their bodies. يعني لا قدر الله واحد فيهم مات، خلاص اتفاق السلام لا قدر الله. قلنا يا أخي ما نتمنى الشيء إنه واحد فيهم مات.
موت حق، ناس كلها هتموت. It doesn't matter how long you live, we're gonna die.
هل ما اتفاق السلام ده المفهوم. لهذا الأساس عملية التمجيد بتاع الزعماء أو رؤساء دي واحد من أكبر خلل، ده أكبر خلل في مجتمعنا الجنوبي نفسه، وده سبب من الأسباب اللي خلانا نحن we follow these guys blindly wherever they're dragging us, and we fall into the river or the sea without seeing back what could happen. كيف ياخذ الاساس انه اتفاق السلام لازم يتم تطبيقه، لازم رياض وسلفكير يكونوا هناك. ممكن يكونوا ما موجودين ويطبقوا اتفاق السلام بروحه اذا كان شعب جنوب السودان او حزبين اللي وقعوا اتفاق السلام واحزاب الاخرى عايزين يطبقوها. الان السؤال المطروح الاتي: there's no political will from these two gentlemen to implement the peace. What is the way forward? The way forward, if there's no political will from these two gentlemen to implement the peace, the way forward انهم يتنحوا ويتركوا الساحه لقوى سياسيه اخرى بما فيهم احزابهم يشاركوا في تطبيق اتفاق السلام نفسه. ده المفروض يحصل. عبد الله قرن سأل what is the solution? Solution there are two things من ضمن وجهة نظري.
نعم.
تطبيق اتفاق السلام بأظافرينه اللي يؤدي لشنو؟ للتحول الديمقراطي في البلد ويكون في انتخابات مراقب دوليا واقليميا ويكون نزيه، او خيار الثاني انتفاضه شعبيه وهم ديل يمشوا. ده خيارين: تطبيق اتفاق السلام وتحول ديمقراطي حقيقي ويكون في انتخابات نزيه حره. ده لو تعذر لابد من شنو؟ قيام ثوره شعبيه لازاحه النظام الحالي في جنوب الشعب بتاع جنوب السودان يقرر مصيره. هنا حقيقي هنا واشكركم جزيلا وانا ما حرجع ثاني. ثانك يو فيري ماتش.
شكرا استاذ مدين منيل for really wonderful انه ادينا يعني مساء عام لنقاط مهمه جدا جدا. اشكرك كل الشكر. Thank you so much. Moses, go ahead and continue, and as I am going to bring in some other people too who want to participate. طبعا Charles network didn't work for him. It looked like it's giving me hard time. Dr. Malwal also, Francis, if the network work fine for you, you can come back and then try to be on the studio so I can bring you up as well to hear your perspective. Go ahead, Moses.
Once again, I thank you, Ustad Jonkor, and I thanks all the viewers of concerned citizen of South Sudan, and I thanks all the speakers, including my brother Meding Menyel. I was saying that Young Council of Elders are saying that they have written their political stand in a paper saying the failure of peace agreement should not be blamed on Dinka Council of Elders. So they exit and say that we are supporting the final resolution of the national dialogue. There is another contradiction here. If they are saying that the peace agreement is going to fail and they want to support, Young Council of Elders want to support the final resolution of national dialogue, which has said the bottom line that President Kiir and Riek Machar must step aside. Uncle Aldo Ajo, you have to know that peace, the revitalized peace agreement was a prerequisite. It has to come first. It's the foundation before you talk about national dialogue. So if you are running away from supporting Kiir as you used to support President Kiir as Young Council of Elders, and you are backing national dialogue, the point is this: if peace has died, national dialogue has also died. Yani za salam da ma itnafas zai ma guide itnafas asi. They are not implementing it. Ma fi tanfiz salam isn't a national dialogue made. It's dead. So if Young Council of Elders is supporting the final resolution, they are in a weak position. Let me go to what Dr. Aldo Ajo wrote and signed. Dr. Aldo Ajo said, Young Council believe revitalized peace agreement in 2018 is worse than the peace in 2015. Dr. Aldo Ajo Deng Akwe, this is my question to you. This is what you have said and you have written and you have signed. If you are telling us this revitalized peace agreement of 2018 is worse than 2015 peace agreement that's ended into J1 war in 2016, why do you want us to support it?
Yep, we asked that question actually today.
Maybe I missed that part.
Yeah.
Why do you want us to support something that has ended up in J1? Do you want us to wait for another J2? Because 2018 agreement may ended up in another J2 war. And this is why President Kiir does not want the reunification of the army. Because if the army were inside Juba, 2 years would have not gone, or 1 year without any implementation. Can't be Ayasel J2. So if you know, you members of Young Council of Elders, you are avoiding J2 problem, and you know that's why Kiir doesn't want to unify the army. Oder jesh betariak de yejuru bejo wamrat wasa joro fi maskrat, because mafi akel, mafi ilaj, mafi haja. So Kiir is destroying the SPLIO ashan yejuru. By the time you talk about graduations, I couldn't army to President Kiir that will be graduated. For this peace agreement, Uncle Aldo Ajo is actually dead. It's dead because it's not being implemented. So don't tell us to support something that is dead. Second, Young Council of Elders has said this in their paper. The revitalized peace agreement is partially being implemented. And this agreement has ignored the root causes of the 2013 and 2016 civil wars. Yes, Dr. Aldo, if the peace agreement, the revitalized peace agreement, has ignored or did not address the root causes of the problem of South Sudan, why do you want us to support something that did not address the root causes or the fundamental problems of South Sudan? because the end product of the Revitalized Peace Agreement of 2018 is power sharing. So the prescription, the medical prescription for the problem of 2013 and 2016 is to reinstate Dr. Riak in his position. Reinstate him. Now he got back his dignity. He was dismissed in April 2013, and he was appointed again by the same president who dismissed him to the same position. So the man has proved to President Kiir that I have power. So Dr. Riak won the political war against President Kiir. Now, this peace, as Young Council of Elders, and as we know, you have said that it has not addressed the root cause of the problem of South Sudan, which means the problem is still existing. The problem is existing. There is still underdevelopment in all states. There are no parliament that are functioning in all states. There are no commissioners, and the members of parliament are being appointed and not elected. So this agreement, you are telling us to support it so President Kiir can continue to rule by these political agreements and not constitution. We reject that. We want South Sudan to be ruled by the constitutions. Constitutions is the mother of laws, not political agreements. Constitution is the mother of laws. Is the mother of law because it gives the rights to everyone. It protects the right of citizens, protect the rights of everyone in the country, regardless of their tribe. And this is what we want. I am a Dinka. I want my rights to be protected by the Constitution of South Sudan, not by elders of Jiang.
Thank you.
So this is the message. We want a country where rights are protected by the Constitution, not by a lobby groups. And we don't need every tribe to have their council of elders to protect their interests. The country to be run by interest groups instead of the Constitution. So we know that this peace has not addressed the root causes. Therefore, we have no motivation. We have no reason to continue to support something that is used to buy time so they can be in power and loot the oil money. Because this war is a war of resources, Jonkur. I've been telling our people, the war between Dr. Riak and Salva Kiir has nothing to do with the Nuer and Dinka. It is the war of controlling resources. How do you control the national resources? You have to control the power. You have to be in power. And if you look at this, how they share the power in this agreement, it is 45, a ratio of 45 to 55. Even our peace agreement, CPA peace agreement, it was 28 versus 72, the ratio of power sharing.
Yes. Go ahead. I'm coming.
So this peace agreement is all about power sharing. So when you have power, you can loot the oil money. And this is what President Kiir has been doing with his criminal in Blue House and all the fake business people that come to the National Ministry of Finance to claim the contract for food for SPLA, and they don't buy food for SPLA. SPLA are still begging on the street. The fake contract that are given to relatives of Dr. Riak and Kiir is that power that they want to maintain, to loot the country, to loot the oil money, and to loot the non-oil revenues. As we all know that the non-oil revenues goes to President Kiir account. So with that power sharing, with every political agreement that grant the power sharing between Riak and Dr. Riak, Dr. Actually, it's called also Dr. President Kiir Mayadit. They just want to loot the oil money, full stop. If the oil stopped today in South Sudan, if the oil money or oil stopped today, Jonkor and all the viewers, there will be no struggle for power anymore.
Absolutely, I agree with you.
So whatever transitional period, 3 years, they must Jonkor Garigu Nazil Behebo Talata Sena.
Mm-hmm.
They want to get the power to steal the money. So if Gen Council of Elders want us to support people are looting us and are depriving our citizens, what Dr. Riak and Kir are promoting under the name of peace, revitalized peace agreement, is deprivation of our people. They are promoting poverty, abject poverty, not even absolute poverty, abject. Abject poverty is a poverty where you don't have a hope that you will come out from this poverty. So they are promoting illiteracy, people not to be educated, because this is the problem, Jonkor.
That's what
And
they did. They brought those chiefs. I don't
the
know what.
problem to what we say Kir must go is not the gun, by the way. When we say Kir must go as a solution, not this fake peace, not the national dialogue solution that are connected with the implementation of peace. And they will not be even implemented. Kir is not going to accept to step down. Riak is not going to accept to step down. And when they are told to step down in national dialogue, they go back to peace implementation. When the peace is dying, and they say
You know what? You know what?
they lie to people.
You know what? There is someone here. Yom Ngong said, "Why was there is a national dialogue if it's going not it's not going to have a value?" And that's why I said last time they are just doing all this thing to buy time. It's just buying time, my brother. Yom, you are right, because they were doing all this thing, just to buy time. 3 years, 3 years, 3 years, 3 years. There would be no election in South Sudan whatsoever. That's why the grassroots level have spoken, saying that if South Sudan has to move forward, and then it is necessarily for President Salva Kiir and Dr. Riek Machar to exit political life. Period. It's very clear. Because if there is an election conducted, the Kalam Jam National Dialogue Zato, Huma Mawjudin, why did I kharkhar? Why did I go now election Amalurwik? And then we go back to the war. Why do you want us to continue in problem? You know the problem. Who is the problem? Are these two leaders? President Kiir is the problem. President Kiir, manipulate young kinds of elders. Young kinds of elders try to manipulate him. At the end of the day, there is a deadlock. There is no solution. People have spoken. They ruin our country. And it is clear. Like yet, people with no mental conviction, they are still just trying to twisting around, going around and say, no. If they go, nothing is going to be okay. South Sudan is going to be okay without them. Okay. So I want to conclude so I can bring Dengit, and because we wanted to conclude, we already been here 3 hours. So go ahead and conclude so I can bring Dengit to add his final remark as well. Further.
Yes, I'm saying that we, the people of South Sudan, the peace can be achieved without President Kiir and without Dr. Riak. This crazy idea, this mad idea, that there will be no peace without Kiir and Riak, it is a Stone Age idea. And I've said last week, Stone Age did not end because of shortages of stones. If you are telling us without Dr. Riak Machar and without Dr. General Kir Mayadit, then we will not exist as a country, that is a lie.
Yeah.
We are not going to buy it. And we believe that. And South Sudanese should actually read what is written and what has been said by the Ministry of Federal Affairs, by two people that I know them. Dr. Richard K. Muller was a Minister of Federal Affairs. He came up with a resolution. What is the way forward? Because now we are discussing whether Kiir is there. Kiir is not going to bring anything because he rejects any great ideas. Dr. K. Muller presented to him the way forward with one of my relatives in the University of Upper Nile. They have done a research what federalism would be fitting South Sudan. And they presented to President Kiir that the territorial federalism if it is implemented by President Kiir and Dr. Riak, that will take us to permanent peace. We don't need ethnic federalism. But these people, they are rejecting ideas from intellectuals. And they sign political peace just to give them extension of transitional period where they can loot more resources. When they know that transitional period of 3 years is going to end, they will create conflict. So they go to war again for another 2 years while they are extending the term of president. The parliament will come and extend the term of President Kiir. And when the war is ended in another 2 years, then they will come with another political agreements to give them interim periods. So we will be ruled by interim period forever, South Sudanese, and by presidential decree. Kiir is only able to rule South Sudan in 2 ways. Listen to me careful, my fellow South Sudanese. Kiir has no capacity. He has no brain. He cannot implement what is in the constitution. He can only rule the country through presidential decrees and through political agreements, not constitution. But we are saying here, we want the government that can rule the country using the national constitution, the new constitution, not this constitution, but Dinka Bugulu Tega Kaja, not this constitution, but Akir Mayadi. When he gave himself more powers, and he rejected the draft constitution of Dr. Riak, because Dr. Riak presenting his draft. But his draft was also giving him a lion's share as a vice president, Tegakaja too. So President Kiir won his constitution. And this constitution will always give Kiir the lion's share in terms of power to dismiss anyone. And people will go back to war. So my last point is this. We, the people of South Sudan, we want the president that will come to rule based on the national constitution that is passed in the parliament, and the parliament that is appointed by the people. The people appointed their MPs, and the MPs approved pass the national constitution that will be the mother of laws in the country. We don't want this idea of presidential decree to replace the laws and to replace legislations in the country, and to appoint even the commissioners and the undersecretaries, which are technical and position. They are not political posts. So President Kiir is appointing from undersecretary even to drivers and cleaners. They are Bagibas Kiir to bring decree who are going to be the cleaners in G1 and who are going to be the drivers in ministries. That's the only thing Kiir has not done. But he's appointing everyone, including commissioners. They will be sent to him. He will think and will cancel.
We are receiving a warning. Just go ahead and wrap it up, because I want to give that a few minutes to Dengi Dayok.
Yes.
You want to throw us out of the thing. Go, wrap it up, because
last point.
Glitch.
The solution to what we are saying is the popular uprising. We will keep saying this. Popular uprising will change President Kiir. Kiir Mayadit and Dr. Riak must go. They are liabilities to South Sudan. They are liabilities to our people. We know one challenge that is going to face our people is not the national security, is not the army, but the ignorance of our people, because 70% are illiterate, 30% are educated, and some of them are in diaspora, and some of them, like a goat here, are still supporting President Kiir, which is part of semi-illiterate mentality. So it is the illiteracy. And Nazal Mamu Ma'arfini Haja, Mamu Mutalimin Del, they will be against what we are calling, because they did not understand it. And that's why we come here and to educate people every day, so people can understand that Riak and Kiir are not South Sudan. They can go and South Sudan can still exist, as Dr. Garang has died. But South Sudan exists. Who is Kiir and who is Riak Machar? Who is James Council of Elders? Okay, so let's educate our people, because the challenge for us to go to the street is not only the guns, but illiteracy. People who are not educated think going to the street to change President Kiir will not protect them. They still don't know that if you take away SPLM, there will be no government that will be formed from people. They still don't get it because they have been told that only SPLM is the god of South Sudan. When SPLM was formed from people, it is people that form SPLM. It is not the SPLM that form the people. So we, the people, can go to the street and protest because these public thieves, these public looters, if they rule for 100 years, they will never build South Sudan. And all liberation movement cannot develop any country. And thank you so much, Jonkor. And we don't care whatever name they give us, rebels, because they have rebels in Pyramid Hotel. And they are coming here to call us rebels.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. And may God bless South Sudan. And Kiir must go. And Dr. Riek Machar must go. And Gen Council of Elders also must go. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Moses, for airing your perspective. I want you to come back with something, Ayok, so we can conclude. Yes, anyone that decide, not to be on the side of people of South Sudan, it has to go. Because at the end of the day, South Sudanese have suffered for a very long time. They fought collectively together so we can have justice, liberty, and prosperity. Yes. South Sudan doesn't mean Kir Mayar and Riek Machar. South Sudan means South Sudanese. That's what it means. Okay. And if there are two leaders at the problem of South Sudan, then what the grassroots level have said, that's what's supposed to be. So Dengdi Ayok, please, I want you to come back so we can go ahead and conclude. Like I said, tonight, it was unexpectedly, we were diplomatics, in our interview, because we always said we agree to disagree. And we don't assume that if you disagree with someone and then you don't want to, you feel threatened by their point of views, which is not okay at all. So Dengdi Ayok, I don't know if you have technical problems or what happening. I hope you join us so we can continue and then we'll be able to conclude. We have sat here for quite some times. I hope you guys enjoyed it. The tonight talk. That's the way it is. And we will not quit this. We will continue to do our best always, until people of South Sudan see the light at the end of the tunnel. We have that moral obligation to continue and do so. So we'll be waiting for you. So Dengid, I know the network is not cooperating today, and you want to overthrow us out of the system, but we'll continue. I know that it didn't give you a chance, Francis, Malual, and Charles as well, and that's why you guys were not here, So let me try to do this. I hope it's not going to give us a hard time. We need to continue. We'll be waiting for you, Ustaz Dengid Ayok. And then we'll continue. Let me wait for you. So it appeared like the network actually is not giving Ustaz Dengid Ayok a chance. I want to say thank you for watching. Thank you for coming. Thank you for being part of Concerned Citizen of South Sudan. Next week with another episode. But the most important thing, people of South Sudan need that unity so they can get rid of the real pandemic, which is this leadership hailing us back for a very long time. So thank you so much for watching. You have a lovely night.